How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brown Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got 2 Minnesota lawmakers shot in their homes in Minneapolis, and now we have a suspect. This suspect is no stranger to these people in Minnesota state government. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got ICE raids, immigration raids, whatever you want to call it, all over the country. And we got protests, people talking about, oh, don't send me your way. We got a lot of racism involved in some of these protests, including the video I put out. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the LA riots, are they still going on? Do we still have issues? Why are there so many riots in Los Angeles, but not really anywhere else in the USA? What makes Los Angeles so special? Is that a city built on migrant slave labor? Have they been overtaken by another country? Are there just guys and girls out there getting paid because they are struggling, starving actors? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, speaking about struggling, starving actors in California Senator Alex Padilla had him get himself hemmed up, dumped on his head right quick for trying to lunge at Kristi Noem during a press conference. And then he went on a mainstream media alphabet letter organization network and started crying, crocodile tears, crying noises, but no tears going out of his eyes. Also, the military parade is amazing, but some folks hate it. I love it. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. I appreciate y'all for joining. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys who were there during the Timcast stream on Wednesday. I appreciate y'all. I was able to go look at the chat afterward and see a lot of you guys were in there, so I appreciate y'all for that. And shout out to Tim Walz and the whole Timcast team. Great people, very professional, really welcoming. I enjoyed the whole experience from the pre-show to the regular podcast and the after show. Shout out to you guys who called in. I think all the calls were for me for the most part, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely got to go back and do it again. I got a lot more podcasts that I'll be doing. I got a lot more things I'll be doing. Like I told you guys before, I got another trip coming up next Saturday. So what I'll probably do next week, I may do a show on that Friday before Saturday, because Saturday I'm not going to be able to do it. I'll be on the plane during the time the show's supposed to be on. So there's no way I could do it on Saturday. And then Sunday, they got us doing a lot. And then Monday, I'm traveling back. So I'll probably do a show that Friday, Wednesday and Friday of next week, rather than Saturday, because I got something else I'm doing in California. That won't be a stream. They're going to record that and then release it. I have no idea when, but it should come out pretty soon. So I got quite a few things. And then I got a lot of other potential podcasts in the pipeline, a lot of things that I want to do. So it's pretty busy. Thank you guys for rocking and rolling. I really, really appreciate it. Hey, if you missed the Timcast stream, no worries. Go ahead and watch the replay. Watch that replay. I definitely enjoyed doing it. Really, really good show. Alrighty. And my next, like I said, Retro AI, my next trip is in LA. That'll be this coming Saturday. Not today, of course, because I'm right here with you guys, but next Saturday, that'll be my LA trip. And I'm not sure when that particular piece will come out. I'll let you guys know when. Thank you, St. Andrew. I appreciate it. ML says, you missed the Timcast, but would love to watch it. When was the show done? We did the show on Wednesday, because as you guys may know, there was no show here on Wednesday because I was out there doing that right during the time I would normally do my show. So that'll be on Tim Pool's Timcast channel from Wednesday. Check it out. Alrighty. Good luck in LA. Yeah, hopefully by the time I get to LA. And to you guys who are out there in Los Angeles right now, what's the temperature like? Is it only kind of weird downtown as far as riots and protests, or is it all over the place? Am I going to be able to go to LA and experience that wherever I go, or is it only in a certain little pocket? I don't really know. Yes, I was, Richard. So check it out, boss. Check it out. Thank you, Les. You enjoyed the podcast. I appreciate you. And I will be safe in LA. Thank you, NERN. Tim did the majority of the talking. Of course, it's his podcast. I expect that. You know, when I go on a show like that where they already got a format they enjoy, because I noticed the way they do it, Tim going to do most of the talking most of the time because it's his show, and they're going to clip it, and the thumbnails are going to have 10 minutes. It's his show. The guests are there to provide supplementary commentary. You're not there to really overshadow the host or the regulars. So I just got in when it made sense. I got a lot of experience doing that from back in the day on the O'Shea days. I done TV debates. I've done it all. So I understand when to pick my spots and to jump in when needed. So that's pretty much what I was doing during the Timcast show, you know? So yeah, I didn't want to overstep my boundaries. I didn't want to be too dominant and try to like bullguard people or talk over them. I wanted to get in where I fit in and just flow with the show and what they already got going on. They've been doing that format for a long time. So I'm not trying to come in there and interrupt it. I just want to be a good addition for the show. Alrighty. Leslie says, ABL would never see conservatives rioting or protesting. We sure don't. And then what did they say? When we say that, what did they say? Oh, what about January 6th? What about January 6th? You're talking about feds like Ray Epps and company who were there talking about go into the Capitol, rabble rousers from the left, obvious feds. Is that what we're talking about? That's all they have. But when we're talking about leftists, they do the riots and the protesting every single day. It's like breathing air to them. It's the same old thing. Okay. 1HD, you're funny. You're a funny person. Thank you, Devin Nosen. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. That's right, David. It's about respect for the host. You know, it's his show. I'm just here as a guest. I get in where I fit in. I'm not trying to do anything other than what I'm called there to do. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing that I think makes for a good guest is understanding how to fit into the actual show. If you go to somebody's show where they already got a format that exists and you want to just ignore it, that's not being a very good guest. That's like going to somebody's house and they already have rules set up and you just refuse to follow the rules. If you go to somebody's house and they say, hey, take your shoes off, please, put them right there on the side, and you refuse to do it, you're not being a very good guest. Okay. So yeah, that's all. Let me see. I'm reading some of the comments. NKM says ABL jumped in when needed. Other guests get intimidated and stay quiet the whole show. Yeah, I mean, I could see how someone they would stay quiet the whole show. I pick my spots. You got a little bit of dead air, or it's a piece where you know you can kind of jump in. You're kind of playing round robin. You let everybody get their piece off. You let Tim get his time because you got to be the face. It's called Timcast. Let him get his time. Let the guests who are normally there get their time, and you jump in when it makes sense. And if you got a little bit of a lull in the conversation, you could take over for a little bit. I did that toward the end. Me and my man, Brett. Shout out to Brett if you're watching. Hey, nice to meet you, Brett. Brett's a good dude. Me and Brett were talking for a while toward the end for longer than usual because there was lull in the conversation. But doing this kind of thing for a very long time, I understand how to do it. Yeah, so yeah, Tim Pool, good dude, real professional, straight up, honest. Yeah, I like him a lot. Good people. How was the HQ there? Was it neat? Very neat. So you go into it, and I'm not trying to say nothing that don't nobody know because he talked about it on the show, but you go into it, it's like a skate park. It's like a big building, and they got a skate park in there, and then you go in the back, and there's a room where we did the pre-show, and then another room where we do the actual Timcast. The lighting was amazing. Oh, it was definitely some recon in there. I was like, okay, look at this lighting. Very nice setup. The whole thing was just like a machine. It was like going to, in my opinion, it was better than some mainstream media setup. And I've been to mainstream media TV setups. I see how they kind of operate. They have more expensive equipment in the mainstream media setup, but this was very well done with less expensive equipment. It was like a machine. 100%. Did I say for the Patreon? Yes, I did. I was there for the after show. Where they do the calls. I guess that's the Patreon, or that might have been the Rumble. I'm not quite sure. But yeah. Yeah, John, I'm trying to get the hang of this podcast thing. I'm trying to do my best. Let me see. I'm reading some of this. Thank you, Aaron. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. But yeah, and I definitely like being back in West Virginia. I've not been to that part of the state before. that part of the state felt kind of like Maryland because it's kind of close. It's like right on the border of Maryland. So it felt like Northern Virginia, Maryland, which is pretty much what it is. All right. Did I skateboard? No, I didn't. I don't. Hey, first of all, number one, I'm 40 years old. My body might think, hey, get on the ramp and just, hey, man, just hit it one time. I tried skating when I was like 15, 16, and it didn't work out too well. Okay. I tried it back then. So now at 40 years old, I ain't going to be like, you know what? I've not tried skating in 25 years. Let me just get up there. Look, I'm going to tear my ACL, MCL, BBL, CDL, all that. It's going to get snapped like a twig. It's going to be a big mess. That's right. Harper's Ferry. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Hodge Twins, that was a good one as well. I love going on podcasts. Like one of the guys who was there was asking, do I have guests on my show? I mean, not really. I will have guests on the show if it's a friend of mine that I know. Like, you know, but I prefer to go to your podcast. Let me go to your podcast because people who watch your show are not used to seeing a guy like me. So when I go on your podcast, it's going to be a whole different experience. People are going to enjoy it. And I think I do better in that setting rather than having a guest on my show. Let me go to your show and appeal to your people and they can see a guy they've never seen before. That's pretty much the way I do it. It was funny. I was reading the comments. They were like, oh, this guy sounds like, what's the dude's name? The conspiracy dude, Billy Carson. Is that his name? Yeah, Billy Carson. I was like, and I've not watched anything from Billy Carson, but I looked him up. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see how they would say Billy Carson. Dark-skinned black dude, African-American voice. I get it. But I don't think so. I get it a little bit, but not really. Hold on. Steve Kerfuffle says they chat the entire time. The chat the entire time was decided you were there. Guests aren't usually that well received. Well, there we go. Hubbalone says your comments are not being received. Hey, I'm missing some of the comments. Key1 says, where do I want to go next? I want to go to I got some in mind that I don't want to say, but one is a financial podcast. And others that I could probably say, and it wouldn't be a surprise. I want to go on Patrick Bet David. I want to go on Joe Rogan. Hey, give me on Joe Rogan. I'm going to set it off. You're going to have a good old time in there. But definitely Patrick Bet, the big ones, Patrick Bet David, Joe Rogan. And that's it. I want to go somewhere where I can have some fun. I don't want to go on one of them drop podcasts where it's like NPR, ASMR or something like that. I want to go on there where I can have some fun, crack jokes, and make it be exciting, make it be entertaining. I don't want to be on there watching paint dry with these guys. That ain't what I'm into. It's like, man, I might as well stay in Chattanooga for this. I ain't coming to Los Angeles to watch paint dry with you in this cold, stinking studio. But anyway, it was not like that over at Timcast. These guys are really, really good people. A lot of them are already watching before. They were fans. So loved it. Loved them. Fantastic. Absolutely. Okay, hold on. Somebody said they thought I was Lil Wayne. That's funny. That is hilarious. That is fun. Nah, Tim Pool's not a weirdo. Tim Pool is a good dude. I like Tim Pool. I like him a lot. Anton. I've been on Anton before. Shout out to Anton. But I would like to go to Detroit and sit with Anton. That'd be great. I've been on Anton Daniels' YouTube on numerous occasions. And I'm featured on there in certain little clips. I've done that a few times, but I love to go to Detroit. Hey, Anton, if you're listening, bro, matter of fact, I got to hit up Anton. I got to get his number. But Anton, if you're listening, or Alan Girl Q, or any of you guys, hey, tell Anton, let me go to Detroit. Hey, I only know, hey, you don't got to fly me out though, Anton. That's fine. If you do, that's fine. But if you don't, that's fine too. Hey, ATL's right there. ATL to Detroit. Boom. Let me land and do a podcast with you in person. I love to do that. All right. Let me see. But there's more we're going to get into. We'll talk about that a little bit later. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. The Breakfast Club would be fun. That'd be really fun. I love to do that. Oh man, that'd be fun. I would have jokes for days. I'd be like, Donnell Rawlings on there. I'd be a comedian on the Breakfast Club. DJ Envy, him and Big Pun, selling houses, flipping houses. Okay. HGTV, penitentiary, DJ Envy. Oh, I love to go on there. That'd be fun. But any podcast like that, if you guys watch it a lot, just tell them, hey, I got a guy you got to have on, and let's do it. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Not HGTV, penitentiary. But anyway, we got a lot going on. But before I get to anything else, shout out to you guys, of course, for watching the videos. I appreciate it. You guys are the best sponsor. But shout out to my other sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ABLmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. There you'll be able to find every video that I post with an article. And in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democratic, Republican, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Again, that is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my SNIML address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that good stuff. Never going to call Twitter X. All those links will be on the contact page of the website. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me or not on the interwebs, just check the method of communication. Cross-reference it. If you got some random 5,000-digit WhatsApp number or some kind of scammy-looking Gmail account, that's not me. My email is very easy to remember. contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you can't remember, go to the contact page of the website. It'll be right there on the page. Easy to copy and paste, and you contact me that way. If you're being contacted in different ways, it's not me. Don't be in these YouTube comments thinking that I done responded talking about call you on some random number and give you 1,000 Apple iTunes gift cards and you're going to get a reward of $5. It's not going to happen. All you're going to do is get robbed, barefaced, no pistol. But anyway, check out all my contact info right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And we got a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot going on. I'm read some more of the comments, and then I'm going to skip to some videos. And, of course, we got a brand new update, breaking news about the Minneapolis shooting suspect, the guy who shot and killed, unfortunately, a Minnesota state rep and her husband. He also shot a Minnesota state senator and his wife. The senator and the wife are alive, but critical. And, again, the state rep and her husband are dead, unfortunately. Okay, but let me read some of these comments, and then we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. NERN says ABL audience doesn't get scammed. Probably. You'd be surprised. People get scammed sometimes, and now we got these AI videos. Man, it's crazy. Be on guard. Be on guard for sure. All right, Kiwan. So that's a good question, Kiwan. She says, is 1984 his date of birth or the reference to the book? Well, both, actually. It's both. But the way I have 1984, let me see if I can pull it up right quick. The way I have it, I got the typeface, the font. I got the font from the 1984 book. Okay, but it's also my birth year. So that right there, I made the hat, and I just took what I did to make this, I traced the book cover in Illustrator, I believe. I traced it in Illustrator, and I made the graphic to put on the hat. Let me see if I can find the 1984 book cover that I took it from, so you can see what I'm talking about here. There's different covers. But there was one that I took this from. Let me see if I can find it. I might not be able to. hold on. It kind of looks like this, maybe, but this is not where I got it from. Yeah, I didn't get it from this, but you can kind of see the inspiration. You see what I'm saying? You see the inspiration down to the color and everything. I did that on purpose, just little small things. Minimalist design, because I'm not really a designer anymore. I give you a little bit here and there, but not a whole lot. Okay, and here's another one that kind of looks like what I'm talking about. You see the inspiration right there? That's pretty much where I got it from. So that's what that is. But there was a book cover that had that exact typeface that I showed you. I just took it from there. And I just made it kind of like a statement. And it's like a conversation piece. You see somebody with the hat on, it's like, okay, are you 40 years old? Or are you an Orwell fan? What's going on? So that's pretty much what it is. Matter of fact, do I have that book up here? I should have it up here somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I have the book in my house. I don't know where it is right now. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Let's get to the breaking news of the shooter out there in Minneapolis. Again, they've identified him and they know some more about him. Let's check it out.
Well, that manhunt is still happening as we speak, as police search several areas right now. We're starting with Michelle Beck, who is at one of the scenes in Minneapolis with some stunning information at a home where the suspect presumably lived part-time. Michelle?
Now, Julie, these last 5 minutes have been so incredibly emotional here. In those last 5 minutes, David Carlson, who says he was Vance Boelter's best friend, has known him since 4th grade, one of his 2 best friends. He was sitting here right on these front steps reading the very last text message from Vance Boelter he received in the 6 o'clock hour, 6 a.m. this morning. I'm going to read some of the words, and he read aloud in tears that text message, and I'll read you some of those words minus some of the filler words. He said, "I'm going to be gone for a while." Again, these are the words of Vance Boelter. "I may be dead shortly, so I just want to let you know, I wish it hadn't gone this way. I don't want to say anything more. You guys don't know anything about this. I love you guys, and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused." Again, this was David Carlson reading aloud to members of the media, including us right here, telling us the very last text message he received from his best friend, Vance Boelter, in the 6 a.m. hour. Now, take a look at the scene here behind me. You see his roommate, again, David Carlson, who was reading that text message. His best friend also lives here in this house with Vance Boelter. He and another roommate corroborated that Vance Boelter lived in this home just a couple times in the week, his other home being in Green Isle. He had some jobs here in the Twin Cities, and so that's why he was here. In fact, actually, this room on the right, you see somebody inside there right now. There's a cat tower in the front. The window's clearly busted out. That is the room where Vance Boelter lived. David Carlson, his roommate, went inside for us when I asked him, hey, can you show us that book he wrote? Apparently he had written a book about the church, and that overall he was a very good guy. His roommates, his friend, clearly just dumbfounded at the events that have happened today and the events that are now being linked to their roommate. David Carlson could not walk out with any book that he was talking about, and that was because police had already come and gone, and they had taken a lot of his items, presumably as evidence. And you can see some people walking inside right now as we speak here. We even asked about Mr. Boelter's political affiliations, and David Carlson, once again his roommate and best friend, known him since 4th grade, did say Boelter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter, but he hasn't really talked about politics lately. And from what his friend knew, he had no idea that Boelter was interested at all in local or state lawmakers as well. His friend didn't even know the names of the lawmakers who were attacked today. He had no idea, the friend had no idea of Boelter even going to the state capitol. Once again, he never talked about state lawmakers. And that is some of the political affiliations that he told us about. Although he did have some ties in the Congo, apparently he flew out to D.C. to meet with an official from the Congo. Guys.
Okay, there's a lot going on. Okay, so the guy's name is Vance Boelter with a B. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. The guy's name is Vance Boelter. We're going to find out more about him because it didn't tell you everything in that news piece. Of course, they're not going to. So the guy's name is Vance Boelter. Okay, let me show you what's going on here. Okay, so the guy was appointed to Tampon Tim. I ain't gonna call him Tampon Tim for this. So he was appointed to a 4-year term of the Governor's Workforce Development Board in 2019, and it expired in 2023. He was appointed by Tim Walz. So this guy, somebody that was known to local government out there in Minnesota. They say he was a Trump voter, yet he was appointed to a term by Tim Walz. Make that make sense. Okay, why would Tim Walz appoint a MAGA? Okay, I'm not saying he didn't vote for Trump, but I'm just saying there's more to the story. Okay, and that's him right there. Okay, again, his name is Vance Boelter, VanceBoelter. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me give you this right here. Okay, here's my Instagram story. You can see what it says right here. Suspect in the Minneapolis Democrat shooting, he was appointed to Governor Tim Walz's Workforce Development Board 2019. Vance Luther Boelter, 6'1", 220, brown eyes. And the reason why they have all that listed is because he's still on the run. As far as I know, they've not been able to capture the guy. When they confronted him, meaning the police, when the police confronted him at first, he was at the home of Melissa. I want to say the wrong thing. What's her name? Her name is Melissa Hortman. Melissa Hortman. And he had just got done shooting and killing Melissa Hortman, the Democratic state rep in Minnesota, and her husband. The police engaged in the shootout. He retreats back in the home and he escapes on foot and he's still on the run. He was wearing a vest, a badge that looked realistic. He had on what looked like police clothing. He was impersonating a police officer. That's how he was able to get inside of the home of both state lawmakers. He also had a car with police lights. So he was impersonating the cop in many ways. Again, his name is Vance Luther Boelter, appointed to a term in 2019 by Tim Walz in Minnesota's state government. Okay. Now let me come back here and show you some more. There was also this. Okay. There was also this. You see what he had in his car? No kings. In that car also, there was a list of 70 people that he wanted to attack, including Tim Walz and many other Democrats. And he was a guy who was strongly against abortion, from what I'm able to read. But there was a list of 70 people that he wanted to get, and Tim Walz was on it. But in that car, there was a bunch of paper that said, no kings, no kings, no kings. So this looks like a guy who is being motivated by leftist protests on the internet, in the street. The same thing that's tearing up Los Angeles and everywhere else. He was driven by that. Let's see what she says right here.
Are there reasons to believe that these events were also targeted by the person in the manifesto in the car?
We don't have any direct links. However, there were some flyers that said no kings within the suspect vehicle. And as we know, the planned events throughout the state of Minnesota today is a no kings event.
And so the reference materials that were inside of the vehicle that we saw, we have no understanding that any of the no kings events would be targeted, but we also find it of interest to the public that these would be in there, and we want to alert everybody until we do that. Because this is such an active investigation with information not knowing right now, we feel it's an obligation to all of you and the public across the state of Minnesota to alert you of it, and that's why the Colonel made the notation of recommending people don't go today. But the individuals are not in custody yet, and so we want to make sure as that very active manhunt is underway and continues that we make sure that we're sharing that, and that's part of why we're making the recommendation. As to the investigation and the list, we are working through that now and talking to individuals, and we'll continue to. What I would say with the list is there's a large number of people. That's all I can say about it. We will work through all of that, what the motivations of this are, and we'll provide that as you can. This is really a public safety announcement for everybody so that we can make sure people are informed and make safe decisions throughout the day.
All right, so there we go. Again, the guy's name, Vance Luther Boelter. and he was known to local government out there in Minnesota. So what do y'all think? You think it was some kind of setup? Think it was leftist? I think the guy had some kind of, here's my opinion, just to be clear. I think the guy worked with Democrats locally and he became disgruntled and decided to go against them in this kind of way. That's pretty much what it looks like to me. Okay, that's what it looks like to me. But hey, now here is Melissa Hortman, previously when she voted for the bill. Remember, there was some talk on social media about the guy doing this because Democrats had voted for the bill that would strip away health care for illegal aliens, but I don't think so because Ms. Hortman did vote for the bill, joining Republicans as the only Democrat to do so. But John Hoffman, the other man who was shot with his wife, he voted against it. So they had differing points of view when it came to that particular issue. I think this was the guy who shot them just going postal because he felt disgruntled. That's what I think. And then the whole no kings thing, he may see them as the kings because he was not able to get what he wanted out of them in the state government. That's just my humble opinion. But again, this is Melissa Hortman previously talking about the bill that she voted for, which cut the funding for illegal alien healthcare. Check it out.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision. I know that people will.
All right, so you can see she was pretty tearful when she had voted for the bill. But again, that was a budget bill. And in that budget, there's quite a few things that you put into a budget. It ain't just a one-line item, but that was a piece of it. Now, for me, it didn't make sense to cut illegal alien healthcare. That didn't make sense, but some don't like that, but I'm not quite sure this was necessarily that case. So what do y'all think? You think it's fake? I'm seeing a lot of comments. Fake, fake, fake. I don't know. I think the guy just went crazy, but it's not really a surprise to me to see these kind of guys go crazy because they always do that. It's always some kind of issue. They're always losing their marbles. That ain't really nothing different or special to me, in my humble opinion. All right. So, but if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. She's scared. She did look scared. She did. Okay, now we got to skip forward here. Speaking about the whole no kings thing, there's all kind of riots and protests all over the country. We know what's happening with LA. LA's a mess. I'm about to go there next week. Hey, to the no kings people, whatever you got going on in LA, wrap that up by this time next week. Wrap that up by this time next week, because when I land, I don't want to see no nonsense. Okay, I don't want to see no nonsense, man. Look, if y'all gonna be crazy, I could just stay in Atlanta and mind my business. I could stay down ATL and mind my business. In Atlanta, it might be one block out there by Krog or something like that with these white liberals protesting ICE. Maybe on Buford, they might be out there, but that's fine. If I land in LAX and I gotta see y'all, you know, with that nerd stench and the blue hair and the sign that says no kings, I'm gonna get right back on the plane and go back to Atlanta on my mama. But anyway, so here is Sheriff Wayne Ivey out there in Brevard County, Florida. And if I pronounced that wrong, please forgive me. But he issued a stern warning, a promise, a directive to would-be protesters. And this ain't even the full clip. In the full clip, he said from the beginning, we respect your right to a peaceful protest. Keyword peaceful. We respect your right. But if you want to come here and act up, if you want to come here and do whatever you want to do, we got something for that as well. All right, let's watch.
So I'm gonna break it down for you. All right. And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, You're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
Right on. So, hey, that's my main man, Sheriff Wayne Ivey, out there in Brevard County, Florida. Hey, that ain't nothing but the truth. And again, in the full video, he said, if you come here peacefully to protest, that's totally fine. We're going to protect you if you peacefully protest. But if you want to come down here engaging in violence, if you want to falsely imprison people on the road, not letting them get by, if you want to act a fool, tear stuff up, engage in violence, we got something for that. We got something for that. Them dogs are going to bite your hind parts clean, smooth off. And we got real ammunition down here, whatever we need to do. And if you want to break laws, we're going to punish you. And that's been my whole thing from the beginning. Listen, if you do things the right way, I have no problem. If you come to the country legally, I have no problem. If you protest peacefully, I have no problem. I might not like your protest, like the LGBTQ LMNOP X, Y, and Z. Okay, I might not like it, but I respect your right to protest. That's your right in this country as an American. I have nothing against it. But when you engage in violence, we got to do something about that. We can't just let lawlessness reign supreme in our streets. We can't do that. So nah, shout out to the sheriff. Anybody who thinks that he went over the top with that, I don't really get it. I don't really get it. I would vote for him. Like if that was his campaign speech and I lived in Florida in his county, I'd vote for him. 100%. I'd vote for him. Now here we have Lizzo. Okay. Lizzo has decided to step into the ring and give her 2 cents. Okay. And I hate showing Lizzo for obvious reasons, but let's just hear what she has to say, shall we?
I just watched a video of law enforcement threatening to kill anyone who exercises their First Amendment right to protest.
No, Lizzo. No. Didn't I just get done talking about it? Didn't I just say that he says he wants you to peacefully protest? Ain't that what I said? Let's continue.
And I've never seen something more unconstitutional in my life. It's actually appalling. I want to remind y'all that the first casualties of the American Revolution were protesters throwing snowballs at the British soldiers who were patrolling the colonies. And the first person they killed was a Black and indigenous man.
I felt it coming. I was waiting on that. I'm surprised she ain't lead with that. I knew the whole black thing was going to happen. I knew that was already going to be there, but let me stop getting triggered.
Crispus Attucks. I'll never forget his name. It is the literal reason why we have our First Amendment right to assemble. And now here we are in a constitutional crisis. We don't serve a king. We don't serve a dictator.
So this is just a no kings protest. Okay, good marketing, but I recognize marketing when I see it.
We fought and lived and died for the right to vote, for people who will protect and serve us, the people, we the people. And when that gets threatened, and when that gets challenged, we just have to get louder. We just have to get prouder. It's the American thing to do.
So what that meant was, in my opinion, what I heard from louder and prouder was louder as in get more violent and prouder, you calling upon the gay community to engage in it. That's what that was.
I want to encourage everybody to remember their constitutional rights. I want to encourage everybody to also protect each other, because the people that we put in position to protect us are not doing that. Know your rights and stand on them. I love you all.
All right, there we go. Lizzo with her 2 cents. Hey, what does Ja Rule think right now? Can we get Ja Rule on the phone? Hey, Ja Rule, the world's on fire. Iran and Israel going at it. Taiwan, we got inflation. What do you think, Ja Rule? That's kind of what I think about Miss Lizzo right there. But look, at the end of the day, Lizzo, you got the right to protest peacefully. He said that in the beginning. You may see little clips from the internet. It don't show you the full thing. I showed you the full thing in my video earlier this week. But once you get into the lawlessness, the chaos, the destruction, the rioting, that's when your right is something else. You don't have the right to engage in that. You do have the right to engage in peaceful protests. That's your rights, and everybody knows it. What you're doing right now is a form of gaslighting, but hey, that is Lizzo with her 2 cents. Hey, there you have it. But what do y'all think? Y'all think Lizzo's a pillar of knowledge, a genius? I wonder what Lizzo thinks about a time like this. What's going on? Okay. I'm reading some of these. Y'all funny in the comments. Okay. Now this person right here, I don't know who it is, but she's going to be responding to what Mr. Wayne Ivey said about, if you want to come down Florida and act a fool, we got something for you. Let's see what she says.
Good morning, everyone. This is for my Florida friends. If you're planning on protesting tomorrow, the 14th, Saturday, the 14th of June, please be so careful. We unfortunately live in a state where our public officials, and everywhere from the sheriffs to the governor, have given people permission to hit you with their cars if you're in the way, to run over you, and to drag your body until you are graveyard dead. Their words. That's all they have to say, is that they felt threatened for their lives. This is given permission to MAGA fanatics to hurt you for no reason.
Well, there's a reason that you might get hurt if you want to get in front of my vehicle while I'm driving on the freeway, and if I can't go anywhere. Look, if I'm driving on the freeway and you block me, you're falsely imprisoning me, and you get hit. That's your fault, because you shouldn't have gotten in the way of my vehicle trying to imprison me. If you want to engage in violence, if you want to attack police horses, you want to attack police officers, you want to attack normies, you want to throw rocks from overpasses, through windshields of cars, you want to engage in all this violence, well, you can't just do that and have nothing happen. Don't say it's for no reason. No, it's for a real reason.
So please be careful. I can't believe I live in a state that would say if you're in front of someone's car and they feel threatened, they're allowed to hit you with their car, drag you with their car, and kill you graveyard dead. Their words.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, if you don't want to get hit by the car, then don't get in front of me. Don't falsely imprison me. I don't understand. You know, shout out to the libertarians. One thing that they have that I like, the non-aggression principle. If you don't aggress upon me, then I won't aggress upon you. But if you aggress upon me, then whatever you get is what you get. It's your fault because you started it. Leave me alone. Don't touch me. Don't falsely imprison me. Don't throw rocks at my windshield. Don't hurl objects at me. Don't shoot at me. Leave me alone. I'm out of my business. And if you don't leave me alone, hey man, it's whatever. It's whatever. Now, this video you may have seen, I ain't gonna play it. Matter of fact, I might play a little bit of it. It's kind of awkward because it's me. I'm gonna react to my own video. But this video right here, so okay, when I was out there in West Virginia again for, not again on Tim Pool's show, but I was just there for my family in Charleston, and then they had me in Harper's Ferry, that area, for Tim Pool's show. So before the show, I decided to go to the park, take a nice little hike for a couple of hours, and I decided to take a little moment to pause on the river and record this video about the migrant crisis. It's kind of going viral right now. I'm at about 500,000 on Facebook, I believe. And shout out to the Facebook crew. You guys are great. It's going viral. And the comments from the Hispanics, especially Mexicans, are off the hook. Hey, any racial slur you can think of against a black person, I done been called that in the comments of this video on Facebook. Go check it out. Go check it out. Hey, listen, everything. Oreo, Uncle Tom, bootlicker. They posting watermelon emojis, chicken emojis, everything. And I personally have no issue with anybody of any race. I'm not against Mexicans. I don't hate Mexicans. I just think if you're here illegally, you got to go. And if you're flying the flag of Mexico or any other country, go back there to that country if you love it so much. Oh, man, the racism. Listen, if I was a weak person, that video and the responses would make me racist. It'd make me racist. But all I'm going to do right now is double down and say what I said, and I have no regrets. If you want the blacks, because I'm seeing plenty of videos talking about why aren't the blacks involved with this? Why aren't they out there with the Hispanics? I'm seeing plenty of videos shaming blacks. If you want us to get involved, maybe you don't call me the N-word 10,000 times when you don't like a thing that I said. Maybe just try to convince me that your position is correct. Don't just say N-word, 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 because you already felt that. You already felt that. That's exactly why, or at least part of the reason why, I'm not going to help you, aside from the fact that you're here illegally.
Hey, to everybody out there in LA, rioting, protesting, carrying on, time to go back to the crib. You're flying your Mexican flags, you're flying your flags of whatever country you got going on. You could go right back there to that country. I mean, if it's so bad right here, if you hate it so much, why don't you go back? I don't understand. And why should we, the blacks, support you? For what? Because if we do something wrong, we get locked up straight away. But when you do something wrong, it's no problem. You guys get to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, and then try to recruit us into your nonsense. Nah, you on your own.
So, yeah, that was awkward to react to my own video. But that right there, the comments, it's crucial. I'm like, okay, you know what? That's exactly why you're not getting no help. That's exactly why. And I don't even want to get into, I could make a bunch of videos about the black and Mexican problems, but I don't want it to be like that because Mexicans, I know, I love them. I love them. The Guatemalans, Mexicans, all of them that I know, I love. Who I don't love are the gang members, illegal aliens, people who are just here doing whatever they want to do. I also don't love the racist people from any country, including Mexico, anywhere in Europe, racist Africans, racist Asians. I don't like racist people. And a lot of those who are here illegally are also very racist towards blacks. And sometimes they get in positions of power and they do things to be able to X blacks out of the way. There was an instance at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles out there in LA. And by the way, did you know that Cameron's uncle owns that? Fun fact. But anyway, the rapper Cameron from Harlem, New York City, the black guy, owns Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. But anyway, out of Roscoe's location in LA, there was an Hispanic hiring manager or a GM or something like that. They're in charge of hiring and firing. And what happened was the Hispanic person was purposefully ignoring black applicants for jobs and only hiring Hispanics. That was found out. Roscoe's got sued, and the person who sued them won. A black woman won because they found out that they were intentionally racially discriminating. That's happened in Houston, Texas, all over Los Angeles, all over California, all over the place. Because what happens is when you bring in a bunch of these illegal aliens, and I told y'all this would happen. I told y'all this during Biden's term, during Trump's first term, and before Trump's first term. I told y'all this. What's going to happen is when they bring in the illegal aliens, where are they going to go? Right to the black community. And when they go there, they're going to fight for resources. New York City, same thing. I called it back then when they brought all of them to New York. and they put a bunch of them right there in the projects. I think it might have been in Queensbridge, like 8,000 migrants in Queensbridge housing projects. And what happened was one year, it might have been Thanksgiving or Christmas, they got a big dinner that they put on for the whole project. Now, the people who are normally there, the residents who have been there, mostly black, they showed up about a half hour to an hour early before the actual meal was to be served. The illegal aliens were out there all night. So now we're battling for resources. Why should I help you? Why should I help you? And again, if I do something wrong, if Americans do something wrong, we go straight to the penitentiary right away. Big rocks, little rocks, or worse. Illegal aliens do whatever they want to do. Hey, Mr. Logan, you have no license. It didn't got expired. Okay. Hands behind your back. You go into the penitentiary. You go into jail for a little while at least, and you got to pay a fine. Driving with no license, suspended, expired tags. You're going to get a fine and you might get locked up. Illegal aliens, no car insurance, no license, can't drive, don't speak no English. They do whatever they want to do. You at the airport, they cut right in front of you in line. I see it every time I fly, every single time. I can spot them out. Migrant, illegal alien, go right to the front. Everybody waiting in line. Zone 4, please board. It's a line. Here come the illegal alien right across the whole line. Hey, here go the line, right? Here go the line. Here go the bottom of the line, the top of the line. Here go the illegal alien. Here go my pass, and that's it. And go right on the plane. They do whatever they want to do. And then when they say you're wrong for being a black person, not supporting it. Excuse me? Why would any American who's forced to follow laws, and if we don't, we're held accountable, why would any of us support this illegal activity from y'all? For what? If you want to come here as an immigrant, sure, no problem. Do it legally like everybody else. Do it legally. Like I said before, the actual legal immigrants hate illegals more than anybody else. Because it's like, okay, I did all this. I paid all this money. I waited years out of my life. I went through hell and back to become a legal resident. And you just stomped on all of that. And you want to bring crime, and you want to bring violence, and you want to bring drugs, and you want to bring a crazy culture with you? I think not. Go back the other way. Now, we got a few more videos talking about such a thing. And again, the racism I got for that video, the racism I got for that video should be studied, because some of them people are crazy, and I would not want to live next door to them at all. Okay? I would not want to live next door to them at all. Okay? But let's watch this one right here.
This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't kick us out of the land that was ours. Donald Trump! Fascism! Let our people free! Let our people free! Suelta nuestra gente!
What's the wind blower for?
Just for the fucking tear gas to blow it back at those motherfuckers. If you have a fucking blower, bring it out! Push them back! We will not do 1992 again with your tags. I was 12 then. I'm 44 now. I will die for my kids. And all of these young people are here are my kids, because I'm an LA native mom. These are my children you're fighting. You, Major Bass, if you can hear me, expect me in your office on Monday for attacking my children.
If you could say something to Donald Trump right now, what would you say?
Donald Trump, you can suck my left nut. You can get out of my drawer. You're just mad because Salma Hayek wouldn't give you the time of day, and because Claudia Sheinbaum make you look like a loser.
Okay, so she said Salma Hayek and Claudia Sheinbaum. That's interesting. Yeah, I do not want her, him, them, whatever the pronouns are, to be my neighbor. How about y'all? Do y'all want that individual to be your neighbor? I know I wouldn't want them, not in the least bit. But check it out, though. Follow the law. Never have I seen people so indignant, like they could do whatever they want to do. Hey, go to Mexico and say that. Go out there. Hey, be Guatemalan and go to Mexico and do all that. Be Guatemalan and break into Mexico illegally at their border and see what happens to you. Okay, just do that. Matter of fact, be a black person down there in Mexico. if you're a black person, off the rip, you're suspected of being there illegally. They're going to search you for weed. They're going to search you for all kind of drugs. Even if I go to Mexico and I'm near the border, like if I go to Oaxaca somewhere, off rip, looking the way I look, passport, where it's at, papers, visa, what's going on? Do you have weed on you, sir? do you have? I saw a video. It was a black couple in South Mexico, like Oaxaca, that area. And they were talking about how they were on the bus going from point A to point B. And the bus got pulled 4 times in a short period. And every time they went straight to them, beeline. Papers, please. Where the passport at? Where they were at a beach area, they had a dog, a sniffing dog. And the dog went straight up to them. And then they searched their bag, talking about do you have, what is it? A cigar? Do you have a cigar carcass, basically? Are you rolling blunts? Do you have weed? That's how they do. But according to her, that kind of thing is bad only when we do it, and we don't do things like that. We're not going to try to search you for blunts in your bag. We're just trying to say, if you're here illegally, you got to go. Very simple. So yeah, shout out to Mexico for having border control and immigration the same way we have, the same way any country has. Canada, Mexico, US, anywhere in Europe, Africa, everybody has that. Everyone has that. All right, and now we got the Mexican flag at construction sites. Why are we doing this? All right, so you see all the Mexican flags flying on the construction sites and things of this nature. The idea is that the migrant labor are the ones building the nation. Now, it's true to a certain extent, but you got to ask the question, why? Why is the migrant labor being used so much? It's because they're cheaper. A lot of times they're not necessarily skilled. They're just cheaper and in abundance. That's it. That's really the bottom line. It's a lot of Americans that want to do the things that these guys are doing more than what they're doing, but a lot of times they get priced out. That's just the bottom line. It was the same way with slavery. That's why they had the minimum wage law, is because they wanted to keep black people out. Okay. And with the illegal aliens, they are because the blacks would undercut. The difference that they don't understand is that black people were here legally. We're actual citizens of this country. They're here illegally. They should not be here. We have laws to keep illegal aliens out. If you want to be a migrant, you want to be on the H-2, 3B, A, B, C, D, E visa, that's available to you. You can't just come across and do whatever you want to do. You're deflating the job market down to a standard that's like Mexico. When this country becomes Mexico, you don't want to be here anymore. At that point, you don't want to be here anymore. And if you're flying the flag of a different country in this country, I don't understand. If you don't like what's happening, if you don't like the way you're being treated, you have a home to go to. The difference is I'm at home. I'm at home. You guys, if you came here illegally, have a home to go back to. I'm at home. I'm from here. This is where I'm from. I'm an Appalachian American. I'm right in Appalachia right now. It'd be like me going to Mexico with an American flag, talking crazy to them like, yeah, I deserve to be here. Excuse you, sir? We're Mexicans in Mexico. You're an American in Mexico. You better act accordingly. When them wrongdoers are Romans. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty. So we got an LA protest. I've not seen this video right here, but I think I like what I see so far. All right, let's check it out.
I tell you right now, if somebody says a black person, guess what I know a black person, somebody who comes from Colombia, Cuba, or Caribbean, they are not black, they're Haitian, they're fucking Haitians, they're not fucking black, they're fucking Haitians. No, we ain't even doing history shit. We're talking about today. We're talking about every time a black person gets pulled over. Every fucking Mexican ain't targeted. All these fucking Mexicans never gone through the shit that black folks went through. And they got the fucking nerve. And hold on. And they got the nerve to talk about they built this country. Those bitches wasn't here in the beginning. So I don't want to hear shit about. No, it's not about us against them. But when you fuckers, even your ass, comes out and makes this an issue, that's when we gotta look. This is when we gotta look at it in this. You see this white person? You see your ass?
All right, there we go. I'm sorry for the cussing, but look, made a lot of valid points right there. If you didn't hear what he was talking about earlier, he's talking about the Dominicans and Haitians, Colombians, etc. Shout out to you guys, but at the end of the day, we're talking about black Americans when we say black. We're talking about this country. It was black people and white people. That was America. That's who built the nation, blacks and whites. That was it. We got all these newcomers that want to try to cash in on that, try to call themselves that group and that group and that group. The difference is y'all did not have our experience. And here's an example. Again, you're a regular black American guy, no license, driving. You might get locked up behind that. You're a Haitian in Ohio, driving with no license, ain't no problem. You see how that works? And beyond that, it goes more to an American citizen versus non-citizen thing. It's not even about color. They try to put the whole color thing on you to try and fool you into having the immigration issue close to your heart and being sympathetic and whatnot toward it. But in reality, it's not about race. It's about whether you're here legally or illegally, and that's it. So shout out to my man. He was right on point. And again, sorry for the cussing, but sometimes you got to just pop out and show illegals what's really going on. All right, this person says that the MAGAs always talk about being patriotic, but they are the least patriotic of them all. All righty, let's go ahead and check it out.
It never ceases to amaze me that MAGA and Trumpers are always the least American, least patriotic, most unconstitutional people of them all. They're always the ones that are saying things like, I hope everybody gets arrested while they're peacefully protesting. Like our Constitution doesn't matter at all. Which makes sense because Trump also doesn't give a shit about our Constitution. And for some reason, they also always look something like this. I don't know why I always act so surprised. They're all the same. Every single one of them. Anyway, hope you have a good night.
Okay, first of all, I ain't gonna talk about looks, which is looking like Gary Owen in the face, number one, if you want to talk about looks. But number two, I've not heard anybody say that they hope peaceful people get arrested. It's always those who are out there causing the LA riots, people like that. They need to get arrested. That's the main thing. And this is a bunch of gaslighting, talking about you guys do this, you guys do that. No. That's you guys all the way. You guys all the way. That the conservatives I know, peaceful people, we don't do all this stuff that y'all do. And then when I say that, what they're going to say, January 6th, okay, how long are you going to use that? How many years ago was that? And again, that was a lot of feds and a lot of y'all in the crowd egging it on. But I see you guys on the left riot, protest all the time. It's become a pattern. You could pretty much set your watch to it. You know, when Trump's in office, is going to be a lot more of it because some of you guys are getting paid. I heard through the grapevine, like $200 to get you to go out there and act a fool. I heard through the grapevine, you guys are being sponsored to go out there and create problems. You guys got nice prefab signs across a pretty penny. You have these so-called protests set up, organized, funded. We don't do that. All we're trying to do is just work, take care of our kids, and live righteously without tearing our country up that we love. You guys don't love the country because you're tearing it up. But anyway, yeah, shout out to her. What's her trans status? Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know the pronouns. That's a good question. Now, I don't know her pronouns either, but she's going to give you a little bit of warning about the No Kings protest, okay? And let's hear what she has to say.
Okay, so if you're going to the No Kings protest, here's what you're going to do. You're not going to go alone. Always stay in groups of 2 or 3. It is not safe for you to be by yourself. If you have tattoos of any kind, I don't care how small they are, how common they are, you're going to cover those up. Anything that makes you identifiable, you're going to cover that up either with makeup or with clothes. You are going to wear dark, neutral clothing with no logos, nothing identifiable. You're going to wear sunglasses that you get from the dollar store. You are not going to break out the Prada, the Versace, anything that can be traced. You want to be as generic looking as possible. Do not wear bold lipstick. Do not do crazy eyeshadow. Do not do anything that is going to draw attention to yourself. Do not take your pets. Police will use that as an opportunity to hurt them and say they were being aggressive. Leave them at home. Furthermore, leave your kids at home. This is not the place for them. I understand you wanting to teach your kids about what's going on, have them get involved, learn what's going on in society. This and any protest is not the place for them. Leave them at home with a trusted babysitter. Do not bring them to this. If you are not Black, you are going to go onto this app or onto YouTube or something and look at the ways that Black moms have taught their children to remain safe while in the presence of cops.
Hilarious. It's like, hey, the Blacks, they know about police, so yeah, watch the Black moms. They tell you how to be safe in the presence of cops. Now, okay, that was funny. There was a lot there about how to disguise yourself if you go to a protest. But my question is, how will this young lady disguise herself? I don't care how many dark clothes and makeup you wear. I mean, must I state the obvious? Listen, if Shaq hides behind a tree, are you not going to be able to see him? It's like, Shaq, you're 8 foot tall and 400 pounds. I can see you, sir. There's no amount of disguise that can hide you. If Shaq put on a little fake nose and changed his voice, it's like, bro, I see you. Young lady, you looking like Willy Wonka, Chocolate Factory. When they had the blueberry and got real big like that, you looking like that. So it don't matter what you wear, I'm going to be able to see you. You're not going to be able to be hidden. Okay? You're a very obvious person. I'm pretty obvious myself. I get noticed all the time. Same for you. And you know what? The best way to avoid being spotted at the protest, the best way to do that, stay home, don't go. That'd be the best way. For sure. So yeah, shout out to her. Hey, especially you, young lady, because hey, if I see you at the protest, if I turn on my TV and I'm seeing the shape that resembles this right here, I'm on the phone right away. Like, yo, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, Donald Trump, JD Vance, Vivek, Elon. Hey, she right here. I saw her on TikTok. Her girl face. Check it out. Boom. And they're gonna come scoop you up. Big rocks, little rocks is where you're going to go. So, yeah, the best way to avoid being detected is to not go to the protest at all. All right. Now, speaking about white women, talking about different races and ICE protests and whatnot, she is asking, why didn't ICE go after the whites? All righty. Check it out.
How come ICE isn't chasing the immigrants from Russia, Poland, Europe? How come? It's not about race, it's not about skin, but here we are. How come ICE isn't...
Okay, first of all, there's a bunch of migrants from all over the world in America, and the majority of them that came in are going to be from Central America. So they're mostly going to look one way. Like 3 out of 4 times they'll look one way. But there's also other migrants aside from Mexican or Central American and white. There's also black. There's also a bunch of Chinese. There's a bunch of everybody that comes in. Why are you so focused on the whites? Why is that your focus? I say anybody who's here illegally, you got to go. And as a matter of fact, they had a White House perk walk of all the criminal migrants they got. And there was every color up under the rainbow. You had Chinese, African, Mexican, European, everything in that list. And they all had serious crimes. So yeah, it's not about race. You're making it be about race. It's not even about that. Come here legally. That's it. Come here legally. All right, now, here's some of the riots. And of course, they gave the Trump administration an easy promo video, easy campaign video. It's like talking about peaceful protests. This is the idea of a peaceful protest to many in the Democratic Party.
A fourth day of rallies and protests on the streets of Los Angeles.
It was a peaceful rally. What is going on right now is also peaceful.
Here we are expecting rallies later on.
When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
In Los Angeles, there is a new crowd of protesters that has been building.
CNN had it that these were rallies. Now they've become protests. I'm afraid that by tonight they become riots. If we don't have the ability to stand up and stop this violence before it consumes a great city like Los Angeles, then there's no telling where this could spread.
There we go. So you see the riots, you see all of that. They're giving us easy ammunition for a campaign ad. So, and it's only really in LA. Okay, now Waymo is pausing service out there. And like I said, I'm trying to go to this particular area when I get there. So, hey, by this time next week, clear all this stuff up. But you know what? I'm not going to Waymo. No way. I'm definitely not going to Waymo. Give me a regular Uber driver who's speaking in English and I'm good money. I'm not going into Waymo. But look, so all this area right here, at least for a little while, was paused for Waymo service because of all the riots and whatnot. You see what it says? Temporarily paused due to local events. Yeah, the local events meaning the riots. Now, here is an example of the local events.
It's honking. It's honking on its own.
Now, as you can see, it says die ice scum on the side of it.
It's honking. It's honking on its own.
So yeah, that's part of the thing about Waymos. They're going to be kind of vulnerable in these situations. They're vulnerable because it ain't no human being driving it. Hey, one day they're going to have a defense mechanism and it's going to catch y'all off guard. The AI might become sentient and do something to y'all. You better treat these machines right. Hey, treat these machines right. Don't be out there abusing them, breaking them up. Y'all going to regret that, man. They're going to put you right in the pod, like the Matrix. And it'll happen and you won't even know nothing about it. You be in the pod like, what happened? Okay, shout out Agent Smith and all y'all going to be in the pod. Now, this is a No Kings Day protest out there in Pittsburgh. And when I play some of these videos, give me what you think and tell me what you see. What's going to be the unifying pattern behind all these No Kings protests? All right, so that's one. Again, that is in Pittsburgh. This is going to be in Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville, that's out there where they had the flood, or close to it. And before I play this one, shout out to you guys who gave to Western North Carolina after the flood happened, Hurricane Helene. You guys helped so much. It was your donation. It was you going up there in the mountains, in the hollers, helping them out that really got them through. Without your help, without you being on the ground, I don't know what they could do, because the government has been helping, but they can only do so much, especially in them faraway places, because North Carolina in the Appalachian part and the western part, it's not like a big city where it's all clumped together. You have Asheville, but you have a lot of faraway places, a lot of remote places, hollers with like a few houses in it that's far, far away, hard to get to. Bridges have been washed away. So again, shout out to you guys who had boots on the ground, volunteers who helped in Western North Carolina after the flood. But again, this is in Asheville, a No Kings protest. Check it out.
It's time to do it. Great.
Okay, very lively protest in North Carolina, Asheville, very, very lively. All righty. This is in downtown San Diego. I was told to go to San Diego. I don't know about that. Is this how I give it up in? Is this San Diego for me? Hey, if I go to San Diego one day and I see that, I'm going right back to ATL. Hey, hold on. Let me get a good shot of this right here. Hey, you know what? If I was in that hotel, you know what I say? Hey, yo, Tom, Mr. Holman, I got another one for you. I got another one hot. San Diego, come through. Bring the boys. Bring about 20,000 of them boys and scoop them right up like ice cream scoops. Right in the van, right in the plane, and the border's right there. Just send them back over. They're right there. Go get them. Look, man, you here legally, cool, illegally, that's a problem. Because if you get to be here illegally with no consequence, then I should do whatever I want to do. If you could do whatever you want, why can't I? Let's be fair. Either we all are held accountable for our actions, or we're not held accountable for our actions. It can't be 2 or 3 and 4 tier justice system. Black folks, white folks, Americans are held accountable. They're not. I don't like that. Tom, come get them. Come get them right now. Okay, here's the funniest one. This is the funniest one of all. Okay, this is a No Kings protest in London by the U.S. Embassy.
The Keir Starmer hopes Trump will visit this autumn, this year. We must build a movement of movements, a coalition ready to stand up to Trump and show him when he comes to this city, when he comes to this country, who he really is. A tyrant, a fascist. And to show that the people of this country and around the world want to do politics differently. We stand for democracy, we stand for human rights, and for the equality of all. We want to show the UK government that you do not open your arms.
Okay, so UK with the No Kings protest. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, UK. I mean, I hold your hand as I tell you this. I hold your hand as I tell you this, okay? Y'all ready? You guys have a king. It's called King Charles III. You guys have a king in UK. What does UK stand for? United Kingdom. Your king is called Charles, King Charles III. You live in a monarchy. Oh, they got a prime minister. Okay, but you got a king too. Y'all got a king in the palace and y'all give a lot of y'all tax money to the royal family. So don't even play that game. You guys have a king. Let's not even do that. Let's not even do that, UK. United Kingdom. No king's protest in United Kingdom with King Charles III. Okay. You guys are pathetic out there in UK with the no king's protest. All y'all doing is just copying whatever you see on American social media. Pathetic. Pathetic. Have her own sovereignty as a country. I don't want to hear nothing from the Europeans. They just our little brothers, our little cousins. Like y'all, that's like your little brother trying to fight you. It's like, don't you know I would just stomp you out right here, little bro? I ain't even gonna do it to you. I ain't even gonna do it to you. Like, how dare they? But anyway, now, speaking about how dare they, oh man, this guy right here really boiled my blood. He really did. Did you see this guy, Captain Man Bun? Hold on, I thought I had it loaded up. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. There we go. I got it. Okay, I got it. Captain Man Bun. So this is in New York. Another one of these protests. It might have been no kings, ICE, whatever. Look, they're always protesting something on the left. Now, here's the scenario. They're blocking the roads, as they always do. And again, New York City. Black woman trying to get to work. She don't want no problems, not trying to be political. She's just trying to go to work. But Captain Man Bun right here on the left and his mom or somebody are blocking the way. They don't really care about her trying to get to work. But then they'll say, oh, we love black people. We want to help them do everything. You love us so much, but I can't go to work. Let's check this out.
But I have a kid. If I don't, and these people are having their children taken and their parents. What about my kids? I take my dog.
Look at this.
That's what happens to my kids. I can't help you. But you can if you could just move off the way. You're not going to. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing peaceful? No, it's not.
How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
Guys like that, guys like this, hold on, let me get a good shot of Captain Man Bun and his mom. Guys like this, I hate. I hate them so much. They're the worst. And it's not even a matter of just racism. It's just the way that they look at the world, the way they see things. It's the self-righteousness. It's everything. The way they smell, the way they eat, the way they drink, the way they talk, their fashion, the man bun, the attitude, everything, the political stances. They're like the worst humans on earth. Guys like him, his archetype, not white, because there's black guys like this too. Just this general, Whole Foods. I'm 35 years old, living with mom. I'm probably being paid to do this right now. I don't have any ambition. I don't have a real career. I don't want to work. I'm lazy. I'm a bum. I'm good for nothing. I hate them. And that kind of archetype comes in many colors. I've seen black guys like that. I've seen white guys like that. I've not seen many Asians like this, but I might see a couple. But yeah, I don't like them at all. They're the worst. Absolutely. And his mom or whoever that is. She's the enabler. That's probably his mom. They're going to go right back home after he gets his money for being out here protesting. They're going to go right back home. And to celebrate, she'll open a brand new fresh pack of chicken tendies. Okay? He could be in the basement playing video games, doing nothing with his life. And she's going to bring him right down to him in the basement. Nick Fuentes in 10 years. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, guys like that, they're the worst. I can smell him through my screen. Oh my goodness, they're the worst. And those would be the main ones talking about, oh, we're going to help black people. We love black people. Meanwhile, can I get to work though, bro? Can I get to work? I got kids in the family. Can I get to work, bro? If I get fired from my job, what are you going to do? Oh, no, work. If I heard that right there, oh boy, that would have set me all the way off. That would have just been the little, if you are upset, right? And then someone does something to you that kind of just sets you over the top. That right there would do it. It reminds me of the dude, Jonathan Capehart, who cried when Michael Fanone, the J6 cop, came on TV on MSNBC. He did something, some kind of little look. I was like, oh boy, if I would have seen that, I would have been fire truck red hot. With steam out the ears, like the cartoons. Steam out the ears. But anyway, if you guys did not see my Tim Pool appearance, this is me reacting to the Captain Man Bun clip that we just saw. And again, pardon me for reacting to my own videos, but if you guys didn't see it, this is just an example of what I did. All right. And please pardon the awkwardness of my own video playing.
And I'm wondering, actually, if you've ever experienced this, Anthony, white liberals present themselves as less competent in interactions with African Americans.
Yeah, the white liberals are the worst out of everybody I have to deal with. Captain Man Bun, like him and his mom in that video, I hate them whenever I see them. I go the other direction because I know it's going to be a bad interaction every single time.
Conservatives don't do it. This is the thing. Conservatives, libertarians, they will just talk to you. Mm-hmm. And if you don't understand, they'll explain and they just talk like you're normal.
Right.
Liberals intentionally act less competent because they're racist.
Yeah.
They think that black people can't get IDs or figure out how to use the internet.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing. I've seen that. It's like, come on, man. You just go to the DMV. It's like we're regular citizens like everybody else.
My favorite.
They don't see us that way. Yeah. They see us the same way they see the migrants as the permanent underclass. Hey, you guys just work, clean the toilets. Y'all just do that. You're not really people.
And
Exactly. That's exactly what they do. They see it as, okay, you guys just work. You're not really human beings. You don't really have any agency over your life. Just go work, do that. Y'all just stay over there. Don't be around us. Just go do that. But then they think they're doing something for us by trying to like give us certain things. It's like feeding ducks at a pond or something, rather than just saying, hey, you guys are human beings. That's the whole thing. That's the ABL clone. You guys are funny. Yeah, shout out to you guys for supporting the show. Like I said, again, if you guys didn't catch me, I was on Tim Pool, Timcast in real life, Timcast IRL on Wednesday. So if you did not see that stream, go check it out. Had a good time. I was on the pre-show and the post-show. So I did all of that. If you guys have any, if you guys are subscribed to him on the paid tiers, I did all of the different programs on Wednesday, the 11th. So check it out. Yeah, a driver's license. I got a driver's license. I got all of that. A passport, everything. Okay. Yeah, I know how the computers work. I know how to use computers. Okay, I can type. I got a keyboard. I know all of that. Okay. Yeah. And obviously right now I'm doing a podcast. Microphone. I know how it works. I know how the little mixer thingy works. These lights, hey, I know how the lights work. I know how to do all that. But anyway, Sue says they do us the same way here in Hawaii. ABL to think we're dumb. Exactly. And it's to the point where I get that sometimes. I just kind of look at them and be like, okay. And I play dumb sometimes. They tell me a lot of things they think I don't know. I'll be like, oh, for real? Yeah, that's crazy. How you do that? And they give me the information. Yeah, I play dumb. I play into it. And I get what I want out of the situation. Now, anyway, going back to the protest. Little Tokyo after the LA protests. So not very peaceful at all. Not very peaceful. And that's right, Tina, I do build computers. Absolutely. I'm about to build another one. This one I have right here, I built it in 2020. So it's about 5 years old. It's still doing pretty good. I kind of built it future proof, but I might upgrade pretty soon. But for right now, I probably can use this for like another 3-4 years with no problem. Like a lot of my rigs I built last a long time for what I need them for. I had a rig I built back in like 2006 that lasted me probably about a good 4, 5, 6. It lasted me a long time. Yeah. But LA, again, y'all got to tighten it up before I get there because we can't have that kind of stuff going on. Now, Alex Padilla, the actor extraordinaire, also known as a California senator that goes to D.C., so a U.S. senator. Hold on. Before I say that, yeah, a U.S. senator, Alex Padilla. He's from L.A. He Mexican with Mexican immigrant parents, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he interrupted Kristi Noem in her press conference, and he didn't do it in a way that seemed peaceful. He appears to be very threatening. Let's watch. Let's get a little bit of sound. And
exaggerate and embellishing. Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have a question for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your hands off.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked?
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, it's right behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here. I did not know. There's no recording allowed out here per FBI regs for the building.
all right, there we go. So that's, again, Senator Alex Padilla. Hey, hold on. Can I get a good shot? Hey, hold on. It's one of them BET movies. All right, there. Hey, I'm Alex Padilla, and you're probably wondering how I got right here. Let me go all the way back to Los Angeles, California, where I was born, a poor Mexican child. That's pretty much what's going on right there. But look, you have a question. Why don't you just wait till the end to ask your question in a civilized way? And why are you lunging? Why they got to restrain you? If all you want to do is ask a question, why must you be restrained? You're being restrained because you're acting erratically and they don't know what's going on. You might be high on drugs. You might be somebody that's coming here to try to hurt Kristi Noem, the HSI secretary. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to do that because all this action right here, what are you doing? Why are you trying to lunge forward? For what? For what? Just stay right where you at and ask your question. Okay, but since you didn't do that, here you are on the ground looking crazy. Okay, hind parts all in the air. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff going on. Shoes up, bottom on your shoes, hind parts, everything. Face on the ground. And you know what this says to me is that it doesn't matter who you are. Anybody above the law. Didn't you say that, Mr. Alex Padilla? You said that on numerous occasions on the Twitters. But now all of a sudden, oh, I'm a senator. So, and so what that mean? I'm a senator. So what? Do you know who I am? It don't matter. Don't lunge at Kristi Noem. Don't lunge at her, bro. Senator or no senator. Don't do that. And you should know better if you're a senator. Know how to behave and conduct yourself while you're in public. Now, here he is talking about the whole situation. All right, let's play this right quick and let's let it roll.
And I just couldn't accept the rhetoric anymore. So I had the audacity to try to ask a question. I introduced myself. I'm Senator Alex Padilla, and I have a question. And it took all of maybe a second for multiple agents to forcibly remove me from the room, to pin me on the ground and handcuff me. And I just couldn't.
Oh, well, look, man, all this lunging, once they put their hands on you, hey, my bad. Don't try to fight them. And nah, man, nah. That ain't how that work. Once they grab you up, hey, my bad, my fault. Y'all got it. Stop right there. Stop resisting. I said that about black folks, white folks, anybody getting arrested by the police. Don't resist. Just go ahead and comply. you are no different, sir. I don't care if you brown, black, white, green, pink, blue. It don't matter. You are no different than any of us. So when they say no kings, what do they mean? What does that really mean? To me, no king should mean that we're all citizens. We're all held to the same standard. Maybe you think differently, Alex Padilla. I don't know how that really works, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here is Pocahontas taking up for her countryman, Alex Padilla. All righty, let's watch this.
Padilla gets pushed, shoved, thrown to the handcuffed because he is asking questions, because he is engaging in the very oversight that senators are supposed to engage in. Then what we're really talking about here is a Trump administration that just wants to shut down the ordinary functions of government. Look, I do a lot of oversight myself. I ask a lot of questions because that's how it works in a democracy. We use our words to hold people accountable. We don't use our fists. We don't shove. We don't try to knock people down. We use our words. That's what oversight is all about. And that's what I want to go to the floor of the Senate to talk about. I think it is time for every senator, every member of Congress, Democrat or Republican, to stand up and say what Donald Trump has done is wrong. Padilla.
All right, there we go. So that is Pocahontas giving her 2 cents about what's happening with Alex Padilla. Thank you, Pocahontas. That can go back to your Native American rituals, the rain dance, the smoke signals, all of that. Go back to that. And thank you for your service in that regard. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, here's CNN calling out what Alex Padilla did as just self-serving, trying to get some attention, trying to go viral, basically. Same old from the left at this particular point in time.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, she was holding a press conference and doing a press statement. He's not a member of the press. It wasn't like a hearing where it was an open forum for senators to ask a question. He clearly showed up to a public event to create a moment and do what you're saying, sort of show his constituents, not just Democrats, but that he's fighting from his perspective. There's no doubt about
it. Exactly. I mean, anybody can see that. That ain't really nothing, no groundbreaking news, but I'm glad that they were able to say that on CNN. Every now and again, they say the thing that makes sense. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Here are some words from a Marine. Let's check this out.
Everybody wants my freaking opinion on what's going on in the country right now. I'm not going to give it to you. You know what I am going to tell you? If you're a Marine, if you're a service member of this country, the United States of America, you got freaking one overall job and one overall mission is to be combat ready. You understand? If something happens and we go to freaking war today, tonight, your job isn't to be ready for a PFT. It's not to be ready for a freaking CFT. It's to be ready for combat. And if the balloon goes up, you and me and every freaking buddy else, we're getting on a plane, we're getting on a ship, and we're going to go forward. And you know what? You're going to leave every freaking thing that you got here stateside behind. And that includes your feelings about everything. All right? Don't freaking forget it. Sergeant Major, out.
All right, there we go. So shout out to the Marines. Shout out to the best guys in the military. I know they might sort of comment war right there, but shout out to the Marines. Hoorah, all that good stuff. Yeah, stay ready. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready all day long. Now, I will say this. I hope that we're not trying to get activated to go to Iran. I don't want to do that now. Here's my opinion about the Iran and Israel conflict. I think they should fight among themselves. I hope and pray that we don't see a lot of innocent people lose their lives over there. But what I don't want is for the U.S. to get dragged into it. I don't want us to get dragged into their conflict. Again, I hope and pray for the best. I don't want innocent people on either side to lose their lives, because at the end of the day, we're talking about war. We're talking about there's going to be some casualties. I don't want them to lose any innocence, and I definitely don't want Americans to lose our innocence. Okay, we got to do what's best for us, because at the end of the day, I think sometimes we get caught up in being the world police, obviously, but there's a consequence to that. And if Americans are hurt, then what are we talking about? Why would we do a thing that would hurt us? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's my opinion about that. I don't really have an allegiance to either side. I'm not Israeli. I'm not Iranian. I want the best for the whole world. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. Okay, here's a little bit of news about the attack. And what do y'all think? Do y'all think we should get involved, boots on the ground, with this particular conflict, or should we not? Y'all let me know.
Been a limited response from the White House, but the Trump administration says it had nothing to do with Israel's strike on Iran Thursday night, as the increased tensions rattled markets, then raised concerns of a wider conflict.
Fighting between Israel and Iran sent oil prices up 7% on Friday, amid fears the conflict could restrict access to energy and draw the U.S. into another war in the Middle East. Following Israel's preemptive strike on Iranian nuclear sites, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. was not involved and that his top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Early Friday, President Trump called on Iran to negotiate new terms on its nuclear program, posting on Truth Social, "There has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Iran must make a deal." Iran launched retaliatory attacks on Israel Friday, but the U.S. is still hopeful nuclear agreement talks can move forward, despite Iran backing out of the negotiations that were planned for this Sunday. Will Todman is an expert on the Middle East.
President Trump has said that he wants to lead with peace and with diplomacy in the Middle East and elsewhere in the world. And he put a lot of effort into the nuclear negotiations with Iran. He seems to have grown frustrated with the lack of success in those talks. The Iranians tend to negotiate very slowly and be very slow to make concessions.
Now, there's more to that, but I'll leave it right there. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the Iran nuclear deal is not going the way that we want and we're going to get involved? At the end, like I said, at the end of the day, let's not let the United States get dragged into it. I don't think we will. If we were to get involved, I don't think we would let Israel strike first, because them striking first and us getting involved makes it look like Israel made us do it. And if we're going to be a sovereign nation, we can't allow other nations to make us get into war. That's not how that should work. Either we want to do it because we want to do it, or we don't. It shouldn't be, well, they said y'all do it, so get into it. That's not how it's going to be. They can't summon us to go to war. That ain't really how that should work. Okay, now here are some missile strikes hitting Tel Aviv, Israel.
Okay.
Now they got the Iron Dome system, but the Iron Dome is not going to be 100% foolproof. It's not going to be 100% accurate as far as being able to block the missiles.
Okay, this is some short-range systems. Stay here, Yaniv. Pull out a little bit. Okay, there's just a massive amount of fire coming to Tel Aviv right now. Yaniv, get ready to pull it off the stick. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go. Okay. Guys, come on, everyone move. Everyone move now. Stay with us, stay with us. Pick up the gear, let's go. Okay, this is...
So there we go. That's some of the happenings happening out there in Tel Aviv, Israel. A lot of missile strikes. That's always been going on. That ain't nothing new. That's always been happening. There's always been missile strikes back and forth. Now, I don't see that as really a big deal. The big deal would be if you're talking about the N-word, not that N-word that the Mexicans caught me earlier on my video. The other N-word that Trump said on Brett Bear, remember that? Nuclear, okay? Nuclear. We don't want that. We don't want either one, but one is worse than the other, and that'd be the nuke. We don't want none of that going on, because if that happens, it's all over with. End game. Now, here's a little bit more about the whole thing with Iran and Israel.
Caitlin, something I just heard from a senior Israeli official who says that according to Israeli assessments, there are very high chances that the entire Iranian general staff, including the head of the Iranian general staff of the Iranian military, and several senior Iranian nuclear scientists were all eliminated in the Israeli strikes tonight. I hear that again from a senior Israeli official who says that several senior top Iranian military commanders, including the head of the general staff of the Iranian military and senior nuclear scientists, have all been targeted in those strikes. And according to IDF assessments, there's a high chance that they've been eliminated.
I mean, that is really striking intelligence, if that is accurate.
First, Caitlin.
So there we go. So again, what do y'all think? Y'all think we should get involved or not? I think we already did then covered that. But how about the strikes in general? Abnormal, normal. To me, it looks normal. It's like what they've been doing for a while now. Now, this is an interesting video. You have Egyptians physically throwing out Western people, a lot of American, maybe some UK, Western people trying to go to Gaza. Okay, they're trying to march for Gaza, protect Gaza, all that kind of stuff. Now, watch what happens in reality when they try to go there. Okay, it doesn't really end too well. Now, from what it looked like, from what I'm seeing, it looks like they're trying to sit down and block the road because they're trying to like pull them up from a sitting position. Now, what are y'all doing? Are y'all marching to Gaza or are you trying to block the road? Like what? Go over to another country and do stuff like that and see what happens to you. They're not really, listen, go over there. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of these LGBTs, a lot of these Westerners, look, trying to stop them. Don't touch me. You might, hey, they're lucky they ain't get caned out there. They're lucky they ain't get hurt for real out there because you in different countries. They don't really play around with you like that. You could play like that in America. These spoiled children that's like 35 years old are used to being coddled right here in the USA. Go overseas and see what happened to you. They don't play that game at all. Not in the least bit. So yeah, shout out to the Egyptians and shout out to these Western leftists getting a life lesson right there on the ground. Right there on the ground. Go to Gaza. All right. And see what happened to you in Gaza. Go out there and see what happens. Okay. Now let's press forward in a more positive thing. Shout out to the Army. 250 years old today. Happy birthday to the Army. Let's watch some of this right here. We got a little sizzle reel, a little trailer for the Army's birthday. Let's get some sound. Very good. Good commercial. Be all you can be. No LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z propaganda in there. I like that. Okay, Army. I'm glad you guys got the message. Hire a new marketing manager to get your commercials on point. That was very good. I like that a lot. Very, very good. And I think that the military is surging as far as the recruits. So that's a good thing. Now, some may say it's because of the economic downturn. I don't know. I think that it's a good thing we're getting more in the military. Now, here is some from the Army 250th birthday. I think it's part of the military parade as well. All right. This is at Joint Base Meyer Henderson. We got the old timer uniforms on. We got the band and music playing. Let's watch this. So yeah, shout out to the military band out there. Hey, one thing about me, I love a good band, like a marching band. I love it. Good music like that, great. Old timey music is still a good time. These instruments still used. People are still making that kind of music. I like to see them like perform in person. It's always a good thing. Live music, always good. Now we got more guys out there in the old uniforms. Let's check some of this out.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, bring these old uniforms back. Bring back the 1700s uniforms. Bring back some of the Forrest Gump. Hey, bring back the 1970s, 1940s. Bring some of that back. I like some of the old time uniforms all day long. Yeah, some of these right there, it might be a little bit too obvious with the fashion statement. You got white pants and stuff like this, but those uniforms always look nice. So yeah, shout out to them boys out there doing their thing. No Transformers, real boys out there. Shout out to them. And here's some from the parade, okay? And I love me a good military parade. Oh, and an air show. Listen, if you guys have not been to an air show, you got to go. The Blue Angels, seeing them in person, it's an amazing experience. When you're seeing them jets flying like this close, I'm not exaggerating, this close to each other in perfect sync, fast, it's crazy to see. But here's some of the military parade out there in DC. Check it out.
University parade, and please just don't go anywhere because we got a lot cooking.
All right, we got more. We got one more, I believe. I love it. I love it. So shout out to Pete Hegseth. Shout out to Trump, Melania, everybody. Look at Melania. Look at Melania. Jill Biden could never. Jill Biden could never. And shout out to Pete. I like Pete Hegseth. I think he's doing a good job. And he's young, relatively young for the job. So I think he'll only improve with time. And Trump, the triple OG. Hey, you can't stump the Trump. You can't do nothing about him. Try to lock him up. It didn't work. You shot him in his head and it didn't work. I mean, like he said, he's a chosen one. He proved it. How you get shot in the head and it don't even really phase you? You can right back to work like it ain't nothing. I mean, he's a chosen one. So yeah, shout out to them. I love a good parade like that. Love them. Love them, love them, love them.
In 7.
Okay, and we got some more. We have some more.
1975, the shot heard round.
And I love horses too. I love horses. I'm gonna go horseback riding pretty soon. But yeah, horses. I see them out here all the time. There was a house out here. They had 2 horses just in the front yard chilling like it ain't nothing. It wasn't even a farm or nothing. He just had like a lot of property. He had a big front yard and just had 2 horses grazing like it was just regular. So yeah, shout out to the horses. One day, that's what I'm going to do. Get a lot of acres and I'm going to have horses. And I'm going to be dressed like my man right here. Hey, you going to see a black dude on the news, 55 years old, dressed like this on a horse, just chilling.
17.
And it'll be me.
75, the shot heard round the world at Lexington and Concord sparked a revolution, uniting 13 colonies and forging a continental army from farmers and frontiersmen. Against the odds, they turned the tide at Trenton and Saratoga, survived Valley Forge, and at Yorktown forced a British surrender, securing independence and giving birth to the United States of America. Before radios and field phones, sound was the signal. In the Continental Army, fifes and drums carried commands across the chaos of battle, telling soldiers when to advance, when to retreat, eat, even when to rest. That legacy actually lives on today with the U.S. Army Fife and Drum Corps, part of the 3rd Infantry Regiment known as the Old Guard. Founded back in 1960, they're the only unit of their kind in the armed forces. Performing in uniforms patterned after those worn by General Washington's musicians. Playing period instruments with patriotic precision, they bring history to life, sharing the sound and spirit of the Revolution through more than 500 performances each year, both at home and around the world, too. The Old Guard, Fife and Drum Corps, everybody.
All right, so there we go. I mean, I love a good parade like that with the tanks and everything out there, the horses. I love it. But yeah, hey, just so you know what I'm gonna look like once I go out there on that nag. Hold on, you're gonna see me. Hey, I'm gonna look just like that on my ranch, just like Jimmy Fox and Django Unchained, like with the hair out, no shave, the beard crazy. But it'd be a great beard. That'd be the only difference. But the outfit right there. Hey, Jamie, if you're watching the stream right now, can I please get the Django Unchained outfit? I need that about you, man. Or let me get your Taylor connection, and I gotta make that whole outfit happen for sure. If I'm gonna go to a cosplaying, if I'm gonna go to a convention where I can cosplay, I'm gonna have the horse, the outfit, and all of that. I'm gonna pull up in front of the convention like, yo, I'm Jamie Foxx and Django Unchained. Let me in. That's my costume right there. The nag. That's right, Kiwan. The nag. I'll be out there on the at the convention on the nag. Now, Gavin Newsom does not like the military parade, obviously. Of course, Gavin would rain on a parade, quite literally. All righty? Let's watch some of this here.
In response to this military event.
Do it peacefully. It's a vulgar display. It's the kind of thing you see Kim Jong-un, you see it Putin, you see it with dictators around the world that are weak and just want to demonstrate strength, weakness masquerading as strength. To fet the dear leader on his birthday, what an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness? That's Donald Trump.
Saturday.
I mean, a hater, a purity bona fide hater. Gavin, why hate so much? I love the parade. A lot of Americans, they love the parade. You, my friend, are just a hater. That's all that you are. And this, what's up with this? What's going on with his face? Is this makeup? Of course it's makeup. Who does he look like? He looks like, from my old people in the chat. Yes, that means if you're my age, you're old. We're old. Remember MTV from like the 80s? What's it? Max Headroom? Is that? Hold on. I remember Max Headroom. Oh yeah, yeah. And when I show it, if you've forgotten, it's gonna look just like. Hold on. This right here is perfect. This is perfect. Hold on. Ain't that him right there? Ain't that Gavin Newsom? Ain't that Gavin Newsom right there? Look at the hairstyle. The hair with the slick back, and then the glasses, the long head, the suit tie. That's him right there. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not really prepared to have President Max Headroom run in 2028. I don't want that at all. Okay, I'm not trying to have this character become our president. What do y'all think? Do y'all want Max Headroom for president in 2028? I know I don't. I wouldn't want Gavin or Max Headroom, but definitely not this guy. That ain't going to be. Hey, and with AI, that's pretty much where we're headed with a guy like this. And hold on. See, look, have this image in your mind, right? Have it in your mind, and then we're going to go right back to Gavin. That's him. It's the same dude. Max Headroom, 2025. That's crazy. Hey, history always repeats itself. That dude didn't reborn himself. Hey, Max Headroom, you ain't slick, bro. You done took over this dude's body through AI, through a brain implant or something. That's crazy. That is totally crazy. How old am I? I'm old. I'm old as time. Now I'm 40. I'll be 41 in September. So yeah, that's Max Headroom right there. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, so this is a segment of the show I talk about careers and finances and real estate. I don't want to call it a particular segment, but I just think that it's important to show some of these things because a lot of these people, you wouldn't really know too much about what they do. This guy is a cardiothoracic, I got to pronounce this right. A cardiothoracic surgeon. Okay. I guess you're a heart surgeon, a cardiothoracic surgeon. Okay. You see the headline, how much a cardiothoracic surgeon makes in 2025. Now, before I play this video, how much do you think a cardiothoracic surgeon makes in a year? Give me a ballpark on a salary. What do you think he makes in a year? Y'all let me know. I'll let this play, and he'll tell you at the end.
I recently got a salary submission from a cardiothoracic surgeon out of Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, so it's not him, but he is talking about the profession.
And you might be surprised by how much this doctor is making. Maybe not. Okay, so we're talking about a cardiothoracic surgeon out of Chicago, Illinois. They are a W-2 hospital employee, and they're only 5 years out of training. This is not a chill job. This surgeon is clocking in 100 hours a week on average, and they only get 3 weeks of PTO.
Okay, so that's a lot. 100 hours a week. I mean, look, how many hours are there in the week? I don't know. I feel like that might be a little misleading. I feel like he might be on call for some of those hours. Because 100 hours, I mean, come on. A regular work week is 40. That's 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. 100 hours, you got to be, look, let's do a little bit of math. If 40 hours a week is 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then 80 hours would be 16 hours a day, 5 days a week. So you pretty much work the entire day and then you sleep and that's it. You might got time to eat and that's pretty much all. I feel like you might be on call for that time, but you might not be working that whole time. Okay, let's keep on going.
That is a real trade-off. However, even with all the hours that this doctor is working, they still gave this job a perfect 5 out of 5 for job satisfaction. And they said they would absolutely choose the same job over again. Okay, so the big reveal. This cardiothoracic surgeon out of Chicago, Illinois is pulling in $2.95 million a year, with $59,000 of that coming from a bonus. So yeah, they're making a ton of money, but it also comes with a ton of sacrifice.
Hey, $2.9 million a year. $2.9 million a year. Big money, ain't it? But you're a cardiothoracic surgeon. You probably took years and years and years and years of school to make that happen. You got to do undergrad and then postgrad and then medical school and this and that and residency. You be in school 20 years, not even exaggerating, at least what, about 16 years, sometimes they say. You be in school for a long time and you spend a lot of money. So it's a lot of sacrifice, but $2.9 million a year, it might be worth it. That's right, Cremain. They work their hind parts off, but you getting paid $2.9 million. So, hey, hard work pays off at a certain point. Okay.
Excuse me.
Now, this guy is going to be a hedge fund manager. And I think their thing here is just about more of exchanging information. Let's watch this.
I love that outfit. What do you do for a living?
I'm a hedge fund manager.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you like about your job?
I like solving puzzles.
Can this be a tough job at times?
Yes.
Gotcha. How so? Do you mind sharing?
Actually, it's not that tough.
Gotcha. Someone is working for you. Do you look at technique or attitude to come down to your opponents?
Skill and teachability.
Gotcha. For someone who's pursuing your career, what advice can you tell them?
To not pursue my career.
Why is that?
There are more interesting things in life.
Gotcha. Two more questions, I'll let you go. What's like the best piece of advice you ever received?
I don't remember. Must have been that good.
Oh, actually. And then last is, how do you want to be remembered overall?
I don't care.
Don't care at all?
No.
You don't leave a boot, any sort of like print before you get out of here?
Nah, I'm good.
Amazing. Sounds good. Nice meeting you.
Okay, I thought it would be more there. I thought he would give you a little bit more, but he's kind of like kind of unhappy in his career. Hey man, I don't know. The other guy rated his job 5 out of 5. He might not rate his job. He might go on Glassdoor and give his job a 0. He might give it a 0. He's not very happy with his career, I suppose. So yeah, shout out to the hedge fund dude giving 0 game, 0 gems, 0 gems. Anyway, this guy, hold on. Basketball refs. Okay. How much do you think guys who referee basketball games, I ain't talking about NBA necessarily. I'm talking about like high school up to college. Okay, high school to college. How much do you think they get paid to referee games on the lowest level, high school, up to like D2, D1 college? All right. Let's play this.
How much do you get paid to referee high school varsity basketball?
I think it's 90 something a game maybe now. Playoffs are a little bit more, but I think like the regular season game is 90 and change.
In the leagues that I work in, the NAIA, you get $210. So that's like, it's comparable like to D3 is what NAIA is. And then JUCO, we get $210.
How much can you get paid as a D1 basketball referee? It ranges now from top scale of, I think there's one conference out there that's 4,200. But what I know of in particular is $4,000 a game down to 3,200 a game.
How much do you get paid?
So that's a nice little penny. So you go from the low end, $90 a game on the high school level, right? Like low kind of level. Once you get to D1, once you get to like these big universities, Kentucky and stuff like this, yeah, 4 bands on the high end, 4 bands each game is what you get paid. And of course, you could do whatever you want to do once you're not refereeing the game. You might got a full-time job. You might be whatever. I know one of the NBA refs. I don't know him, but I know of him. Tony Brothers. You guys may have seen him. Hold on, I'm going to show him. He's from Virginia. I would see him in Virginia all the time. One of my clients, when I was a graphic designer, did a lot of stuff with Tony Brothers. And when he wasn't refereeing games, he'd be back in Virginia doing events, investing in certain things. Yeah, he was just like in the community, just doing whatever. This guy right here, him from Virginia, Tony Brothers, when he's not in the NBA refereeing games, he'd be back in Virginia. He'd be traveling, doing whatever. He's always like in the mix of things happening in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, that particular area. So shout out to Tony Brothers, getting money on and off the field for sure. And most of the guys do that. You get money from the NBA, you're going to take that and then do something else with it. That's what he does. So shout out to him. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Here's what I want to show you, because people talking about, oh, Canada, they got good healthcare, all this, that, and the third. Okay, good healthcare. Hold on, before I show the healthcare one, I got one about an airline pilot, how much he makes. Then I may get to the whole healthcare thing. Alrighty. Let's watch some of this.
I'm an airline pilot.
And how much money do you make per year as a pilot?
Depending on how much I fly, about $300,000 to $400,000 a year.
Wow. And how many years experience do you have?
I've been flying since 2018. Professionally, I've been flying for about three years now.
Wow. And what was the schooling like? How long did you have to go to school for to become a pilot?
I went to school for 2 years, and then shortly after that, I started teaching people how to fly, which was about another 2 years. So it's a pretty extensive process.
Now, what do you love most about being a pilot? What's something you really like?
Doesn't feel like a job. Best place in the world. It's a cockpit.
Is being a pilot stressful by any means?
Depending on weather, maintenance, things like that, it can be. But overall, I mean, we're sitting up there. We have the best view anybody can have, so it's a pretty good gig.
And what made you want to choose this career path as a pilot? What was that deciding factor?
Top Gun was my favorite movie growing up, so I want to be as close to Tom Cruise as I could.
Okay. Now, if someone watching this wanted to become a pilot, what's one piece of advice you want to share with them?
Trust the process, go in all in on it, and don't give up. Just see it through to the end.
Now, do you feel like this is a career path that's a little bit easier, or do you have to have time and patience for this?
Time and patience for sure. It's not given to you. You really have to dedicate yourself and put in that time, and you'll get to where you want to be.
Right on. So, yeah, shout out to all the pilots out there doing their thing, flying in friendly skies. I appreciate y'all for what y'all do. Going from point A to point B, getting us there safe, getting us there nice and smooth. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I know that some guys may have alcohol problems, but ain't no job going to be perfect. There's no job that you can work where it's like there's no downside. There's nothing that is negative about it. That's like really kind of impossible in my humble opinion. Okay. Now, going to Canada. Okay, someone waited 6 months for an MRI in Canada, and then they went to China to get one. Now, matter of fact, you know what? I ain't gonna play this. I'm gonna play it. Look, I'm gonna play it, but don't get it confused. Like if you go to China, they got A1 healthcare, because let's not forget where COVID started. Because a lot of these hospitals don't got no hand. They don't sanitize. Ain't no soap. They don't wash their hands. They don't know about germ theory yet in many parts of China. But I digress. Let's just watch this. The point is that it took her 6 months to get an MRI in Canada because of the so-called free healthcare. It's not free in China. You got to pay, but at least you get what you want to a certain extent. Hopefully they ain't give her no fake MRI. But anyway, I digress.
My husband has been waiting over 6 months for an MRI appointment in Canada. But while we're in China, we thought, why not try the local hospital? So we walked in the general hospital with no appointment, scanned his passport, and boom, got a hospital card in seconds. We saw a doctor, got referred for an MRI and a CT scan, all in the same day. 4 hours later, we even printed the MRI film ourselves from a vending machine. And the doctor checked both scans on the same afternoon. And here's the wild part. The total cost? Around 1,000 RMB. 5.5 for the consultation, 530 for the MRI, 460 for the CT. My husband...
So yeah, a few things. Canada got a problem with their universal health care. You know, it's not going to be what you think. You can't just go in there, get what you want right away. You're going to be put on a list. I saw there was an elderly lady, who took out an ad, or she had a sign asking for a doctor because she just couldn't find one. Elderly lady couldn't find a doctor. Okay, so you got problems in that so-called free healthcare system. Now you go to China, you might be able to get you an MRI pretty quickly. However, you got to go Beijing, Shanghai. You got to go to a really nice place. You go one of these kind of offshoot little hospitals. Man, you go in there missing the kidney, missing the lung when you get out. You might mess around and get some kind of crazy virus you never had before. So please be careful in China. Please be careful about that. I would say come to the USA legally if you're going to do something like that. But different story. I digress. Now, this guy has like a tiny home kind of, and let's see what he pays for rent.
Yo, how much you pay for rent, man?
Oh, me? Like $600.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's check it out. All right, this is my tiny home. I pay $600 a month for. It's 30 feet long, 10 feet wide, so you get this super huge like living room space. This actually pulls out, and it can sleep an extra 2 people. So it's a little pull-out couch. But coming in over here, we have tons of storage space. The stairways go all the way up to the loft. That's like the master bedroom. And then you have this huge kitchen with a 3-burner stove, absolutely huge sink. I got my air fryer plugged in right here because that's what I do most of my cooking with. Along with the cooking, you have this huge, actually really deep fridge that I didn't think was going to be this big. But moving on, we have the bathroom, and it's got a stand-up shower with the waterfall like faucet thing, and I can actually fit in here. I'm 6'2", so that's a big plus for these tiny homes. Let's go check out the master bedroom. Up the stairs. And I actually like this little walkway they have here because I'm not like too hunched over versus if I was up here, it is a lot more hunched, but You know, what more can you want for $600?
Hey, I like that one. That right there, that's a nice one. I would like that. I'm thinking about what I would do. So in the future, when I'm on the nag with a Jimmy Fox outfit and my acres of land, okay, this would be like a good spare space. Like if I got married again, that'd be my little man cave / separate podcast studio, like off in the cut. Yeah, that'd be what that is. Like a little, you know what I mean? A little guest house / podcast space / something like that. And I might even do something like I would have that on my property with a separate entrance and exit as an Airbnb. That'd be a nice one for that, for sure. Put some nice furniture in there. You know, little entertainment system, TV. That'd be a nice Airbnb for sure. And if I was a young guy, especially, I would live there. I live there right now for real because that's all you really need. You got your little sleeping area, and he's my size. I'm 6'2". I'm the same size as him, so he'd pretty comfortable in there. Yeah, I definitely would do that for sure. Yeah, I'll be hitting the ceiling, but he's my same size, so he got plenty of room downstairs. Of course, once you go upstairs, it's different. But that ain't no different than me going to my grandma's house. It's like that up there too. Up the stairs, you got to kind of hunch down. So that's like regular for me. Anyway, so yeah. Shout out to my man. I like that one. I'm going to have to go ahead and bookmark that. And in the future, I'm going to have one for sure. Now, this home is in Fort Worth, Texas, of course, Dallas Metroplex area. Look at what you get for $378,000. Look at this. $378,000, you get all of that. Let's just tour that.
Now, if you have $14,000 for a down payment, this is what we can get you in Fort Worth, Texas. Only $378,000. That's the price you can't beat. Let's go ahead and check it out.
And the music is killing me. Let's not do that. The floors, yuck. The floors are terrible. I would turn them floors up. Hey, 378 must be because of them terrible floors. Do y'all like the floors? I don't like that. Is that caulk in between them? Is that grout on the ground? It's like a kitchen backsplash on the ground. But anyway, okay, so it's ugly on the inside, but it's a nice big property. That's just minor cosmetic stuff on the inside. I would change. I would change a lot of the way that it's designed. The lights and stuff. It's a little bit too farmhousey, but not a farmhouse. And then, yeah, if it costs $378, I'm gonna put another $25 on top for some minor renovations. Minor renovations, that's all. Yeah, but that's new construction, $378. I'm gonna call my inspector. We're like, yo, we got one out here. I need you to go inspect it. Are the sewer lines straight? Is the slab foundation good? What's going on? Let's check it out. Let's invest and inspect, and then we're gonna change some of the flooring and paint and these. I changed everything in there pretty much, but $378, you can't really beat it, even if you got to change a lot of stuff. Again, that's in Fort Worth, Texas. But do y'all like that? Is that a good? Some of y'all might like that. I don't want to run in your parade if you like that kind of style. But for me, that ain't my cup of tea. All right, yeah, for real, open concept. Yeah, that's something else. It's like where the rooms at? My house is kind of open concept too, and I kind of don't like it. I don't like how I got my living room right next to a flex room. It's like, what am I gonna do with the flex room? I'd rather that just when they were building it, I was trying to call my man that was, helping the builders. I was trying to call him and say, hey, can we wall that off and then put French doors? But by that time it was too late. So I'll probably do that now. I don't like how it's so wide open like that. Yeah, it's like, can I have some rooms in my house or nah? Anyway, let's get to some super chats and we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And we're going to get to the calls in a moment. Thank you to the White Man for gifting 5 ABL memberships. I appreciate you for that, boss. Thank you to Deep South EDC who says ABL, more like late BL. Thank you to Seafoam who says missed you Wednesday. I'm sorry for that, but hopefully you guys were able to watch me on Tim Pool. And again, next week I'm traveling Saturday. So what I probably do is a show Wednesday and Friday. That's my objective for next week, a show on Friday rather than Saturday because I'll be traveling all day Saturday. From Atlanta to LA, 5-hour flight. Yeah, 5-hour flight, so it ain't a short one. Thank you to Cardinal Flanagan, who says, what room in Tim Walz's house would the guy from Minnesota be found in? Bedroom or guest room? Let's talk about it. You're funny. Thank you to Atomic Tabasco, who says, great exposure on Timcast. You were great. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says, no, Queen's Day, only real men, Army 250 years, love America or leave it. Right on. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, Juneteenth lasted exactly one election cycle. Thank you to Patty Jackson, who says, I'm so disappointed in Trump for pausing worksite enforcement. I didn't vote for this. Yeah, I saw that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that video right quick. Let me see now. Okay, yeah. Here we go. I want to play that right quick. Let's show this right quick, then I'll continue with the super chats.
What made you change your mind about targeting in California farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business?
Well, we're not targeting. In fact, if you look today, I put out a statement today about farmers. Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have, maybe not. And you know what's going to happen and what is happening? They get rid of some of the people because, you go into a farm and you look and people they've been there for 20, 25 years and they've worked great and the owner of the farm loves them and everything else. And then you're supposed to throw them out. And you know what happens? They end up hiring the people, the criminals that have come in, the murderers from prisons and everything else. So we're going to have an order on that pretty soon, I think. We can't do that to our farmers and leisure too, hotels. We're going to have to use a lot of common sense on that.
All right, so there you go. So what do y'all think? Are you for that? Are you against that? I understand where he's coming from. And I knew that was going to be a problem. Because I understand the way that works, the way the whole thing is set up. When they were doing the, I said it in the video, I was like, it's not good for optics when you see them rating the work site. Because the whole thing that the left says is they come in and do jobs that Americans don't want to do. So you go to a work site, it's like, what are we talking about? Especially when he said they're targeting criminals. Although I have no sympathy for them, don't get it confused. If you're here illegally, it is what it is. But when you do stuff like that, now it's like, okay, what's the objective? So I get it. I do get it. But I know some are not going to like what he said. But I think that he's making the right decision. I think so. But again, if you are here illegally, whether you are a good guy or not, hey, man, it is what it is. But I understand where he's coming from. I totally get it. Because, okay, you wanna get the guys on the farm that's just chilling, and then you're gonna have the criminals that get those jobs at the guys who, because, okay, if you gotta pick between one of the two, one, the illegal aliens that just work and that's it, and they're not engaging in the drug running, and they're not Kilmar Burger Garcia, basically, or Kilmar Burger Garcia. Which one do you want if you got to pick between the two? Okay, that's just pretty much what it is. All right, let's keep on going. Shout out to AJ. Oh, thank you to Tony Patino for the rolling laughing emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to AJ who says, hey man, big fan. It's bullcrap that when they get a president, they want there's no riots. Once you get a president, we want that actually enforces the law and order. They want to burn the country down. Of course, it's what they do. Every single time. Thank you to Michael who says, I'm from Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, there's some people with Harris Walt signs in the yard. LOL. Unfortunate. Thank you to Fernandez T who says, ignorant people who don't know or study history telling the rest of us how wrong we are. No offense, but this is a fad. We heard all this in the 90s and it was a joke then. Pathetic. Right on. Thank you to Kiwan Lynette who says, what's on your international leisure travel list? I got to go to Japan. I want to go to Brazil. I want to go to, where else? That's about it. I'm going to go to Europe and do all that. I want to go to Italy. South of France, Italy, I want to do all that. Not going to Paris, but let me go to a nice, quaint Italian town on the coast. Let me do that all day long. But I'm not going to Paris and I'm not going to UK. Shout out to Free Agent Forever Rocky Cage, who says, "What's up, ABL? It's been a while since I super chatted, but it's not my fault. Blame the whites, man. LOL. It's funny that one chick makes sure she doesn't say black moms, but won't mention black dads. Imagine that. Yeah, she'll make sure she says black moms, but won't mention black dads. Exactly. Funny how that works. You know, black men forget about y'all. Who cares, right? Salute, brother. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you to G Nels, who says, love seeing you on IRL the other day and hope you come back off. Happy birthday, Army. Thank you for your service. Thank you all, vets, Marines, Navy, Air Force. Salute, salute. God bless you all. God bless America. Right on. Thank you to William Hestelo, who says, hey, ABL, Data Republican just released a list of all the NGOs and nonprofits using taxpayer funds to fund the protests. Can you check that out, please? I did see that. I will check it out. Thank you to Islanita, who says, I stayed away from downtown and parks today because if you walk in front or surround me, I'm raising the Wagoneer to off-road 6 foot up for you to be 6 foot under it. FAFO, shrug. Hey, Miss Lanita, I'm right there with you. Hey, I am right there with you, 100%. Thank you to Y. Henderson, who says Gavin Newsome is a hater and he hates America as well as his state. Right on. Thank you to Fred Dixon, who says much respect to you, AB. You're my favorite black conservative to listen to. Many other black conservative channels, such as, I ain't gonna say their names, but shout out to them, tend to focus solely on criticism of black folks, but you call it down the middle. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I just call it how I see it. I don't try to please anybody. I just keep it all the way real. I'm just a very honest person. I just give you the best take from my point of view. That's all I do. So thank you for recognizing that, man. I really, really appreciate you. All righty. We got calls on deck. Again, the number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And let's go ahead and get those phone calls cracking, rocking, and rolling right now. And shout out to you guys. Colombia, Medellin. I don't know. That's a passport, bro. Is it like, how is it though in Colombia? Like, I like to get out and hike. Wherever I go, I want to be able to walk around, move around, wherever it is. So if you got some good hiking, good trails, count me in. Okay. 734 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Taisha from Michigan. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on the whole raid, the illegal immigration raid. I think it's so crazy that we have people rioting against our laws. My thing is, we had this self-deportation app, so people had an option to go. People are not just going to go on their own. So now we have to take measures to find these people who are breaking the laws in the United States. So it's crazy to me that we have people protesting against this just in the streets. And I really like what Florida said. Hey, if you get here and you standing in front of cars, they're going to run you over. We need that energy in all of these states, especially in LA.
I agree with you 100% because when energy is not there, they do whatever they want to do. And they tear stuff up all in the name of the illegal aliens. It's like, okay, you can have your opinion, but why you got to tear this city up? Why you got to get in my way? Why you got to try to block me from going to work? I don't get it.
No, exactly. You see in Florida how when they was at the light, when the light was red, they came out in the middle of the street with their sign, and then when that light turned green, they got out the way. And it was because of what that sheriff and what Ron DeSantis said. So I definitely want to salute Florida, and that was just my comment for tonight.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
Right on point. I think most of us feel the exact same way. It's like, look, you want to get in front of my car when I'm trying to drive. I'm trying to get to my destination. Man, look, if you get hit and you go wheels on the bus, go round and round up under my F-150, it's not my fault. You did that to yourself. Don't try to say that I'm wrong for doing that. You did it to yourself. 786, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm sorry about that. Just at my age, I'm trying to get off the couch. Well, I do have one criticism of you. You say you're old at about 41. You're not old, sir. I'm going to be 60 next month. I can tell you're not old. I'm telling you for someone who has been there.
Right on, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but at any rate, that's the thing about the left is how really insulting. They're trying to, conflate peaceful, how they always like to conflate to cover themselves. Rioters are peaceful protesters. Illegal immigrants, they're all the same. Illegal immigrants, legal immigrants, naturalized citizens are all the same. Rioters, peaceful protests, all the same. I mean, good golly, either they're too stupid to know the difference, or they think they're going to fool us.
Right, exactly. They think that we don't understand this basic concept, but it's clear. We all know the difference. They just are not understanding what we know, who we are.
Or they're being deceptive. That's exactly. It's one or the other.
Yeah, correct.
Either you don't have the sense to know, or they're being deceptive. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, and the thing about it is, I want to tell you now, I live in the Miami area, and Miami is overwhelmingly Hispanic, but I still see a lot of Trump flags around.
That's right.
I'm curious about that. I mean, I know plenty of Hispanics who came here legally. They followed the laws, and they're glad to be here, and they don't support what's going on. I mean, I'm almost feel like calling Claudia Sheinbaum. At one point, she called for her people, quote, her people in California, and in maybe the U.S. to stand up, and I'm like, that's almost an act of war. You got people occupying another country illegally, and then that other country's leader, is saying for the people in country, hey, rise up.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, and all I got to say is that I know someone referred to as the No Kings Day today and whatever. That I see a push, and even with the rioters, perhaps with the paid rioters, that there is a push. They're being used, a lot of them, as pawns to try to get them either somehow worked into a situation where they get assaulted, or maybe worse, so they can get a photo op or get whatever it is. See those MAGA people. See, Trump is a dictator. Trump is a fascist. See those MAGA people. They're dangerous. And I think at one point it's kind of a setup to try to provoke that.
Right.
Which is really disgusting. I mean, they'll get people hurt, and it may be even worse. Just so they can gain political power. I mean, you can't get any lower than that.
I agree.
Okay, I'll just sign off by saying happy birthday, Mr. President, and definitely a happy birthday to the United States Army. God bless them all.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. God bless you, too.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Again, the number to call is 706-406-3287. Let's go to 860. You're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. It's Anthony Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, doing good. Just want to touch base on a couple of subjects real quick and then get off air, because you've become more and more popular in the past 5 years. I mean, man, I hope you get that big thing, because, I see people in the comments teasing you about OnlyFans and stuff, and now you're talking about costumes. Oh, it's too much fun. Anyhow, abortion. Anthony, Democrats love abortion, right?
They do.
And they're always telling black people, oh, black women, get an abortion, peace-free. You don't need that black child, right?
That's right.
So what they've done was, now listen up, black people. This is the 64-year-old racist white man that's been doing some thinking on this subject. You went from farm equipment and labor to farm products and livestock, because they're selling your baby's parts online. And I think your baby'd be better off in your arms being loved. But that's me. Okay. That's how I see this abortion issue. Because when you look back 20 years ago, safe and rare. Abortion should be safe and rare. But the psychological warfare, once they got their foot in the door, now you go from farm equipment to labor to livestock and product. What do you think about that? Isn't that progressive?
Yeah, that's what they think. To be clear, it's not what you think. That's what they think.
Right, but This just sounds insane to me. But Juneteenth lasted exactly one voting cycle. Wasn't that amazing?
I'm glad that they're not talking about it anymore, because I actually did celebrate Juneteenth throughout my life, and I liked it when it wasn't being used as a political football. So now they can just stop.
But I liked it, that you celebrated it because of the birthdays in your personal family, and that's awesome. And it's great that they had a celebration for that, and I was all for it because it was white Republicans armed with guns that freed the black man from the slavery of the Democratic Party. So that's why Juneteenth is one of my favorite holidays. And then once I said that, all of a sudden they didn't want to celebrate it anymore.
Yeah, they can just we can just not even talk about Juneteenth no more, because people talk about it and have no idea what we're talking about. So I'd rather just not have anybody just go back prior to 2019 and there was no problem. It wasn't in political football.
Right. And, I think the biggest thing that Trump's going to do is get rid of the Department of Education, because I was educated before it was created. And these kids have gotten dumber and dumber and dumber every single year. And it's done on purpose. Dumb people are easier to control. That's what they wanted. It's like a cloth mask. It's going to save you from a virus. That's like putting up a chain link fence to keep mosquitoes out.
That's
Seriously.
right.
I'll let you go with that, brother. Love the show. God bless you. I hope you get that. I wanted to see you on a horse looking like a Django with all. Oh, and you can also, while you're streaming on all the other platforms, you can also stream for free, I believe, at no cost to you on Wimkin, which is totally run by Americans. I'll let you go with that, Anthony. You take care. God bless. God bless America.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. But yeah, Juneteenth, I hated it when they made that like a holiday and it was like this whole big thing, because people just said things they had no idea what they're talking about. It's like, y'all please just shut up. Just shut up and just leave it alone. Yeah, some things are best left undiscovered. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go to 678. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yep, my name is Bryce. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. How you doing?
Oh, good. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Good. I've been watching you, man, probably for like 3 or 4 years. I just wanted to call in and see what you thought about this Minnesota thing that's going on. I mean, I feel like they're going to try and paint it on the right so hard. I'm very afraid of it. But the alleged killer or shooter had the lady that got unfortunately killed. She had recently voted against a bill to prevent illegals from getting state-sponsored health care. And I think that that's going to be overlooked. And I really hope that everybody gets on top of this. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy, so they know who the guy is, and the guy is not a stranger to local government. He had been appointed to a state board position by Tim Walz in 2019, and it ended in 2023. So this guy was most likely somebody who was a supporter of the Democratic Party in Minnesota. The roommate said that he was a Trump supporter. Maybe that's true, but if that's true, that's more of a recent thing, probably because he was disgruntled by the Democratic Party in Minnesota. Also, as far as the whole thing about the one woman that he unfortunately killed voting against, she voted for the bill that stripped the funding for illegal aliens healthcare in Minnesota. The other guy he shot voted against it. So they're going to try to go with that narrative, but it doesn't work because, okay, one person voted for it and the other one voted against it. So you can't use that. I think the guy was crazy, a Democrat, a leftist, and just kind of went AWOL, kind of just went crazy on his former colleagues.
But he was a security person. Like he was a security contractor. So that's even more. So why I'm kind of bugging out on this.
He had training. That's why he was able to.
He knows the deal.
Yeah, he had training. That's why he had the vest and everything, because he already had training as a security person. So I think this guy was training for this particular day, and he went out and did what he did because he was disenchanted and disenfranchised by the Democratic Party in Minnesota. So this really is something they got to do with and figure out why he did what he did. But to say that he would be a conservative or a Trump guy, if the media does that, that'd be just totally irresponsible.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
But man, hey man, I appreciate it, man. I really enjoy everything you do. I watch you probably every morning on my drive into work. So keep it going, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to the call. Great call. 509, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Greg McNeely. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm hanging in there. I do appreciate y'all all you're doing for everybody.
Right on. So what's on your mind?
Hey, I don't know if you remember me, Greg McNeely. My mother passed away December 25th of 20 and from dementia. And your dad, same day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, but the crazy thing about my mom when she passed away, the gal from Gilligan's Island passed away the same week, and everybody said that it was the COVID and all that stuff. No, it was dementia. Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island, she passed away, and it was a scamdemic. They were saying everybody passed away from COVID, but there were so many comorbidities that they passed away from. And I just thought I'd bring that. And another thing I wanted to tell you about Errol Burnett. Come on, man! Are you a somebody that does cocaine? When he asked him, the reporter asked Errol Burnett, or when Joe Biden asked him if he about the cognitive test.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about. It was a black guy, wasn't it? The reporter.
Yes, it was a black guy, and nobody brought that to their attention. Racist Joe, he's always been a racist. Crack the size of a quarter will get you 5 years mandatory minimum. And they asked this black guy, this black reporter, come on, man, did you take a cocaine test before you got this reporter job? That was Errol Burnett. Nobody in the mainstream media brought that up. You were probably the only one that ever brought that up. And it's just frustrating to see these leftists, that they disregard Dementia Joe's total racist attitudes. And I am sorry.
It's all good,
Every
man.
time I get on the phone with you, I get so frustrated. It's been almost 5 years since I've been listening to you. The first time I ever listened to you was because of Errol Burnett, and my best friend from Cleveland, his name was Dottie D, and he passed away on November 6th. That was the last time I talked to you back in last year. And people don't realize how racist Joe is, and the Democratic Party in general. And I guess that's what I got to say about that. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man.
Sometimes I just love to talk to you. I know you see my comments every once in a while in the comments, and I try to do my best. And you guys, you're doing such a great job, and I just wish more people would have understood about Errol Burnett and how these leftists, they're so racist. And I guess that's about as much as I can say about that.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you take care. I love you, buddy.
All right, now. Shout out to the caller. Now, what he was talking about, when Joe Biden asked the reporter if he was on cocaine.
Have you?
So this was a real thing back in 2020. I'm gonna just show this right quick, just to give him, just to validate what he was talking about. This was again 2020 during Remember the basement campaign that Joe Biden did in 2020 that won him the election? Let's watch this from back then again, 2020.
Have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President?
So I'm black. I mean, I got to smoke crack. Is that what I do? And this dude, not even an American. This dude got a funny accent and everything. He's just like, yeah, I made a black joke. Ha ha. This dude, man, he was terrible. He was awful. Like, Joe Biden was real bad. He was crazy then. So now people talking about, oh, we didn't know he was in decline. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, shout out to you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I remember that clip very well. As soon as he was talking about it, I was like, yep, I remember that. I remember that. Like, it's right here in my mind. He activated that chip, the memory chip. It's like, ding, 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 right back to that video. Yeah, Joe Biden was a nut. A whole, anyway, I'm getting triggered. 310, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing today, ABL?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Doing all right, man. It's been another way out week. Just looking at all the craziness going on. We did get to see you on Wednesday on Kim Pool, and it was good. My wife and I, we enjoyed it. We went through the whole couple of hours. We had to see everything that was going on, so it was great. So we definitely enjoyed ourselves. So, you keep doing what you're doing out there, get more exposure, so bring people back onto the, pull them into the light, let's say it like that.
Absolutely.
But, yes, sir. But, I'm just looking at the things that's going on out there, No King's Day and all the pre-No King's Day where people are making all their statements. You got some Chicanos or Mexicans or whatever talking about the reason why they come to America is not because it's a better country, it's because it's a little bit better than where they came from, and we get a lot more money over here than they do over there. And it's pretty much like what you were saying. Hey, if everything was so much better over there, go back to your country and make your country better. You got the abilities to do it. You come over here taking our resources and trying to make your country better off of our dime, but yet you're not going to utilize your blood and sweat and tears, but you'll rather let the cartel take your resources and give you and make you grovel out there, but yet you want to come over here, take our freedom and try to make us grovel. Come on now, get out of here with that mess. These people need to grow up and get some and go back to, like I said, where they came from, because you know what? It doesn't matter. The point is that you came illegally. That means whether you're Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Chicano, Mexican, Ukrainian, Russian, if you're not here legally, you must go out. And just like that, and I understand what President Trump is trying to do as far as like the farm workers and everything like that, afraid to let everybody go because who's going to pick the crop? Well, you know what? AI is coming. Pretty soon they won't be doing it. Somebody's going to learn how to make a tomato plant picker, you know what I'm saying? I hope something will come up one day. There's some smart people out there that's able to do something like that. But things will change. Things got to change. And I just look forward to what's going on as far as like today in regards to our, the No King's Day, but yet, you know what, the American people came out in force, looking at our service people, the Army, recognizing the Army. Man, I've never been so proud of seeing that. It brought back memories of old when I was coming up, where we had parades like that on the regular, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, and Americans were proud to see parades. But other than that, I look at the pride that the servicemen was having, waving at their fellow Americans. This is the country that you're putting your life on the line for. These people who really appreciate you for the sacrifice that you're making and doing. This is what it's all about. And not like these other, imps that run around trying to talk about how bad our country is. We had a lot of people. I saw an ocean of people up there showing how great our country is. And this is what the fabric of truly America. And everybody else that's talking all this other junk out there, they're the ones that hate America, just like Newsom and what's the Padilla, that idiot. You know, I mean, come on now. They just trying to make anything to try to motivate their base. You know, their base is only motivated through hate. But you know what? We're motivated by greatness, the greatness of our country, the greatness of our president, the greatness of the people who really love our country, the greatness of the things that's going to happen in the future as soon as we get these idiots out of our way. And I love it, the fact that what the sheriff was saying in Florida, hey, F-O, you're going to find out, you know, if you come over here acting stupid. It need to be the mantra for all the sheriffs in the United States, the non-sanctuary cities. Hey, don't come over here with that junk. You know, you can prove you got your rights in America, but you don't have the right to tear down, you know, that market over there. You don't have the right to vandalize that 7-Eleven. You don't have that right to keep those people from getting to their jobs. And Man Bun, who got that lady about, she wanted got a job because he getting paid $200 to protest. Come on, man, get out of my way. Like I said, if he was in Florida, he'd been run over. You know, but you know what? I love our country. Happy birthday to the president. You know, hey, it's just coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and like I said, Newsom, you know, that idiot. You know, he's just mad because he can't run things. That's why he's mad. That's why he's mad. That's all it is. You know, we want to be able to have that, wield that power in us, and that's why they're trying to say that stuff about the judges. Oh, now the National Guard is under my control. No, it's not. It's still under the president's control. And you didn't cause these people to settle down. We did when we got the Marines over there. FAFO, and they better get their mind right, you know. But man, I could go on for a minute, but you know what? I love you, brother. I love it. You know, you just keep on doing what you're doing. The chat, Sheree, everybody in the chat. Hey, God bless us. Happy Father's Day to the fathers, the grandpas, the pawpaws. I got my grandson here. You know, he came in from Arizona, and he's gonna be with me for a month, just terrorizing me. But anyway, I'm just enjoying myself. God bless you guys, and you just take care, okay, ABL?
Right on. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
Yeah, shout out to all the dads out there. Father's Day is tomorrow. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, everybody who's like a dad, the unks like me. Shout out to all the dads out there. 405, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, you're talking to Chris, man. How's it going?
Everything's going good. About yourself?
I'm doing well. Enjoying the 250th today. Oh, so glad we made it here.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about what we saw today. Pride in the USA. Let's not talk about Kings anything. I'm tired of hearing about it. Let's talk about the pride that the United States showed today, showing up for our service members, showing up for my brothers and sisters after 250 years. It needs to go back to the way it used to be, where you remember back during World War II, they would bring these heroes home from the war, send them on war bond drives. They would glorify the soldier for their sacrifice. We've spent way too long since the Vietnam War, I would say, maybe even the Korean War, just crucifying these people. They bring them back. They call them names. We don't pay them enough for the stuff they go through. Unfortunately, we do give it to other countries. We give it to other people. I really think Trump's doing a good job at bringing back pride to being American. And my wife's Brazilian, and she was here during the election. She was stupid excited to go see Trump when he came to Atlanta. Stupid excited. I loved it. I think it's time that we bring it back.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
So, all that being said, man, I love your show. It was great seeing you on Timcast. I've been watching him for years. I was surprised to see you on there. I was like, hey, all right, man. Love it. I love seeing you get out there, do your thing, man. I'll continue to like and subscribe, as you say.
Right on, man.
All right, man. You have a great night, okay?
All right, now, Sam, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Let's go to 619 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, how you doing? This is Lander from San Diego.
All righty, on well. About yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, I just want to say great job on Tim Pool. I loved how you took the shots when they were needed, and just phenomenal performance. I was really proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome sauce. And again, don't let those twits protesting today in San Diego turn you off. It's still a great town, and they're about as tough as a wet towel.
So is it overall pretty good on the West Coast right now, or is it just like little pockets where you have protests?
Mostly it's up in LA. I mean, like I said, the
San Diego part, though.
there was a lot of people protesting in San Diego, but like I said, basically the police said, don't do anything crazy, because they actually put the police force out in force today too. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, all that craziness is just mostly up in LA.
Okay.
I have to say this. Lando, turn it up so I can hear him. Hello?
I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because I saw like live pictures, and it was like hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people, I should say. I mean, it looked like all of San Diego, because we go down to the gas lamp to go to restaurants and this and that and whatever. But the whole place was taken over, and I am not joking, ABL. My husband just still wants you to come. I do too. I think if a later date would come, we would you have no idea. We love you so much.
Well, thank you for that. I will be out there in San Diego. Now, hopefully when I come, there's no kind of crazy protests in the way.
Oh, no, not at all. And as far as the Israel stuff, I just say, just let them handle it. For me personally, I don't think there's any business of us being there. Let's just let them handle it, because they've been doing it for hundreds of years, and they'll probably do it some more. But listen, Anthony, I just want to say thank you so much, and you have a great evening.
Oh,
go ahead.
Anthony?
Yes?
I've asked you to do this before because you just have the greatest smile. Will you please smile?
Well, I got it on right now, so I didn't even need to turn it on.
Okay, have a great show. We love you.
All right, goodbye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Shout out to them. They were great. Great energy. Shout out to the call. All righty. Let's go to 859. You know, line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, not much, ABL. Friend, libertarian friend. How's it going?
It's all good, man.
I have a serious question for you, and it's between me. Why liberals interpret conservatives' viewpoints on borders? I really don't get it. They automatically assume race, and clearly that doesn't make no sense, because every other country has borders and border restriction, border laws, and then they go off saying fascism, and I'm like, well, hold up. Every other country has border, things. And me as a libertarian, I'm more on the sense of like, hey, if you have an economy that is both on good sides, I think that it wouldn't be an issue, but it's not an issue when one country has a lot of poverty and a lot of issues, and then another country has a lot of benefits, but they have cities who just, give people free.
Yeah, I mean, they keep bringing up race because they're racist. That's all.
Well, I see that point. But I mean, I try to argue with these people, but they always bring up on the whole point of race, but they never bring up the whole point of like, oh, it could be an American issue, or these are human beings. They don't bring those subjects up. I never hear those kind of form of arguments. And it's crazy that it's just like the mainstream ideology is just, oh, let's just call them racist with no argument behind it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, because
it just stumbles me. It's like we just use race to involve in an argument, which doesn't really create an argument at all. It comes to the point of an accusation, which again, there's, like you said before, and I've seen it before, even on TV. There's other people who come here illegally. They're not just one race. They're different types of races. There's even, I think, with Border Patrols on the TV show, they even had like a guy from Ireland trying to run over here illegally through Mexico.
Of course, it's what they do. I mean, they always bring up race because they're racist. It's all they. That's immediately whenever I say anything about immigration on the internet, the people who disagree with me always lead with race because that's how they see things through the lens of race, and they're racist. That's the explanation. It's really just pretty simple to me.
I answer your point. I mean, like, and that's the thing is, like, just because somebody comes here illegally, I don't necessarily think they're a bad person or a criminal or something like that. And the law is the law. I mean, of course, people set laws for a reason, because the reason why we have border laws and stuff like that, because you don't a heavy, high population of people in one area that can cause disorder or dysfunction of society. And you look at these big cities and how run down they are with so many people in one area. Of course, that's going to cause a problem. That's why they have border laws for that reason. People don't understand that or comprehend that.
Right, exactly.
You know, personally, I think if you have a stabilized economy, that might help. But that's just my opinion. There's a huge argument behind that, and I know there's going to be people on the comic section call me weed and coke guy. Nah, I don't do that stuff. Maybe a little bit of the 420, but that's about it. I'll talk to you later, ABL. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right, so shout out to the caller. But yeah, I mean, they always bring up race. They're just racist people, because that's all they don't know anything else other than race. That's their immediate go-to. With no argument, let's just resort to what I am, which is a racist. I'll just focus my argument on that, and maybe some kind of way I'll win. I don't really know. But I think that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Shout out to you guys. Some 3 hours went by like that. I feel like I just sat down and it's already over with. But shout out to you guys. I'll be back live on Tuesday on the Instagram. I'll bring the IG live back. I couldn't do it this Tuesday because I was traveling. By the time I got to the hotel and everything, it was like super late, so I just couldn't. But this week, I'll do the Instagram live on Tuesday, and then my regular show on Wednesday. And then I'll most likely do another show on Friday because I'll be traveling all day Saturday. By the time I get to LA, it's going to be super late on the East. It'll be like almost midnight on the East. So, but I will be doing a show on Friday before I leave out on Saturday afternoon. But shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. If you're here from Tim Walz Show, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you stay around, hang out with us, join the community. This is also an audio streaming podcast. You can hear it on your favorite audio streaming platforms, including Apple, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right, do I have my super chats to read? I might. Yeah, I got my super chats to read right here. I'll read these right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But before I get to it, again, shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Without you, there is no me. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. Y'all know I couldn't do the show without you. And shout out to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. All righty. And, I'm also on Rumble. I'm on Rumble for you guys who want to check me out over there. I'm easy to find. Anthony Brian Logan, ABL. I'm verified. Go check me out. Not only on Rumble, but on Facebook. The Facebook community is really, really growing. I'm doing a lot more short videos. What I found is that you guys like the short videos. People like the regular 10-minute news, but that's like the foundation. But people also want those short hit. They love them. Those go viral. Those go all over the place. It don't matter where I put it. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. They go crazy. So I'll do a lot more of those short videos with the guys. How they be with the, the guys be with the microphone like this. Like, they don't put it on their lapel like a dweeb. They don't put it like right there. They just be like this, holding it. So I guess I gotta, that's like the Gen Z thing, holding the microphone right here with the camera in my face. That's fine, I'll do that. If y'all like it, I love it. And I've done that, and the videos do very well, so I'll do a lot more of those. And I probably do some of those even like on a Sunday when I normally don't do videos because it's easier to do those. It's more difficult to do stuff like this in front of I got my lights and my camera and editing. It's easier to be right here like this, But anyway, I'll do more of those on all the platforms. Facebook is really a big place for me right now. Instagram is also big. TikTok is weird. So I'll stick to the main platforms without chasing the waterfalls. Alrighty, let's get some more super chats right here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to Bobcat MIT who says Little Italy in San Diego is downtown. Not. Thank you to Bobcat MIT again who says Little Italy in San Diego is nice. Okay, there we go. Downtown, not so much. Sorry I mistyped before. Thank you to Young Reckless who says, I don't understand why illegals protest. They're going to be sent back anyway. It's a waste of time. Long live Donald Trump. Happy birthday. American flag emojis, dancing, music, ice, ice, baby, ice, ice, baby. Hey, it's funny because he had the ice emoji with the babies with the music. Hilarious. Ice, ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, shout out to Ice. That's a great super chat from Young Reckless. Thank you to Man in the Face who says, want to do my part. Many appreciate you, ABL. So do I. You are important for those that can handle the logic of the world. We're all individuals, so we're all special. Sup to Sheree as well. Thank you, Man in the Face, and all you guys for watching, retweeting, super chat. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. But that will be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.